See, we're talking about black and African Americans. We're not talking about this beef shit that we're on. We're not on this drama shit right now. We're on Aboriginal TV's channel talking about Pan Africans throwing shots at the Aboriginals. A Pan African came on here, our brother that makes our shows live for real. I gotta say, all of us need to like sneak together and throw this nigga like $10 cause he's one of the only Pan African boo boos that come up here and put up a fight. People that just come up here need to see that. They need to see an African and they need to see an Indian and they need to see the debate so they could choose a side. Not a coincidence is a major factor in this community and people don't even know it. Goofy motherfuckers.
This is Phyllis Wheatley, right? She has a everybody know Phyllis Wheatley. She was born 1753, died December 5th, 1784. Born in West Africa, most likely in present day Gambia or Senegal. See, a lot of people forget that when we left those places, they really wasn't. It wasn't the. They didn't have the boundaries they have. They necessarily didn't have the names, right? Yeah, Bostonian. They didn't have the names. So, like they said, present day Gambia, Senegal. So she wrote a poem about on being brought from Africa to America. See, we have the history. All through history, we have it where we talked about this. We talked about all of it. Right? She says, "'Twas mercy brought me from the pagan land, taught me, benighted soul, to understand that there's a God and there's a Savior too. Once our redemption neither sought nor knew, some view our sable race with scornful eye. Their color is a diabolical dye. Remember, Christian Negroes, black as Cain, may be refined and join the angelic train." That's Phyllis Wheatley on being brought from Africa to America. What year was that? Yeah, she died 1784. But for some reason, when we ask these other people, like Moors, these Indians, the Aboriginals, Hebrews, we ask them, can you show us people in history who says the things that you say? Right? Can we? And that alone starts an argument. They won't even answer that for us. What they do, they want to move the goalposts, ask us a million questions instead of just getting directly to it. Right? Paul Cuffey, everybody knows Paul Cuffey. January 17th, he was born 1759, died September 7th, 1817, in the state of Massachusetts. So what we're looking at is a petition for relief from taxation, March 14th, 1780. Petition for poor Negroes and mulattoes. So what this say? It says that we, being chiefly of African extract. I mean, we being chiefly of African extract, and by reason of long bondage and hard slavery, we have been deprived of enjoying the profits of our labor for the advantage of inheriting estates from our parents. Talking about generational wealth. Uh, Advantage of inheriting an estate from our parents, as our neighbors, the white people, do, having some of us not long enjoyed our own freedom. So yeah, we see people again continuing this history that we talk about today in 2024. Right? Paul Cubby was a free man. He went from um, coming from a parent who was enslaved to being a big businessman. Would have been worth millions in today's money. He was able to bring some people back home to Africa. Right? So it's not a sad story. It's a story of triumph. Right? We made it. Nigga, we made it. So, like I said, we deal with the primaries. The history is here. This is it right here. close up. We see March 14, 1780. You see right here the petition of several poor Negroes and mulattoes, who inhabitants of the town of Dartmouth, um, something something, that we being chiefly of African extract, and by reason of long bondage and hard slavery, we have been deprived of enjoying the profits of our labors, right? Or inheriting estates from our parents. We have the continuous history. Where's the Abel history? Where's the Moor history? Where's this Israelite history in America that they be talking about everybody is? We never see it. We never see it. Right? And this is their signatures on the back. You know, people like to ask, well, did they sign it? Did they sign it? Yeah, they signed it. You see John Cuffey, Paul Cuffey's brother. We see Paul Cuffey here and some other people. Yeah, they signed it. All right, so we just go on a little timeline. Something that these other groups can't do, especially Aboriginals. They cannot give you a timeline. They can't give you people who talked about this. It's something they can't do. On April 12, 1787, Richard Allen and Absalom Jones founded the Free African Society in Philadelphia to be multi-denominational, mutual aid organization for free people so that they could gather strength and develop leaders in the community. Allen and Jones were both religious leaders and formerly enslaved men who had purchased their freedom before moving to Philadelphia, where they met and found common cause. Right? Absalom Jones was born 1746. Richard Allen 1760, both in Delaware. And this is the preamble of the Free African Society. Like today, for most of the people in the chat, you're not going to see nothing new. But what we're doing is we're putting it together, right? Right. We talk about it, but they need to see it. And can they match it? I don't think they can. They don't have anybody outside of the 2000s unless they go into York or Dr. York, if that's who they want to use. But really talking this Aboriginal stuff. And one person with a group of, how many people he had is not enough. We could literally do this all day. So it says, whereas Absalom Jones and Richard Allen, two men of the African race, who, for their religious life and conversation, have obtained a good report among men, these persons from a love to the people of their complexion, whom they beheld with sorrow because of their irreligious and uncivilized state, often commune together upon this painful, important subject in order to form some kind of religious society. But there being too few to be found under the like concern. So he's saying, listen, we can't all agree on this religious society. And those who were different in the religious settlements, with the circumstances, they labored for some time till it was proposed after a serious communication of sentiments that a society should be formed without regard to religious tenets. So we're gonna do it without religion, provided the person lived an orderly and sober life in order to support one another in sickness and for the benefit of their widows and fatherless children. Right? They're coming together. This is a mutual aid society. They're gonna work together for the greater good. Sounds like Pan Africanism to me. Right? We have more people talking about it. We have the famous Venture Smith, birth name, Rotier Furio. I don't know how to pronounce it. 1729, 1805. He was born in a place he calls Dunkadara in Guinea, a term that at the time referred to much of West Africa. Right? And he just says, I was born in Dunkadara in Guinea about the year 1729. My father's name was Sogun Furia, prince of the tribe of Dunkandara. Right? His book is titled Narrative of the Life and Adventures of Venture, a native of Africa, but resident about 60 years in the United States of America. I just want to know what other groups have a history like this. Our history is never forgotten. I don't know who even says that. Oh, we forgot it. No, we never forgot it. There's nothing to forget. It's literally written down every step of the way by us, might I add, or some sort of participation. We got Peter Williams Jr., born in Jersey, right? He was an abolitionist who also supported free black immigration to Haiti, the black republic that had achieved independence in 1804 in the Caribbean. In the 1820s and 1830s, he strongly opposed the American Colonization Society efforts to relocate free blacks to the colony of Liberia and West Africa. He wasn't with it, right? They had their reasons because they wasn't ready to be fooled. Like, nah, you trying to get rid of the free people so you can keep your hold on slavery stronger. In 1827, he was a co-founder of the Freeman's Journal, the first African American owned and operated newspaper in the United States. 1827. What? I thought you said slaves can't read. It was against the law. Who was reading it? Black people, because we could read, right? And this is what he wrote. It's an oration on the abolition of the slave trade delivered in the African church in the city of New York, January 1st, 1808, by Peter Williams Jr., a descendant of Africa. Where are the Aboriginals?
That's a good question. Where are the Abos in history? Why are you doing? Where are the Abos? Where are the Abos in history? We don't see nobody saying anything about the shit they saying. Not one black person. That's the question, right? I'm showing a bunch of black people talking about what was going on the time they was living, but we don't see that with the Abos. Where they at? Can they name somebody? Can we get a name? Like we got Peter Williams Jr., right? We got Phyllis Wheatley. We got a bunch of other people who tell a story in the history that we tell today, but we don't see nothing else from the Abo.
Where are these black Indians at? Where their history at? Who are their ancestors? Who are they civil rights leaders? Who was their teachers? Who was their lawyers? Hmm? Anybody know? Anybody? Because everybody been asking the Abos for a long time. Yo, give us the history, man. Give us the history. They gonna run to the Book of Atlantis. land of Mu. Tell us some shit that don't exist. Or take us 10,000 years ago to some mounds that they ain't got nothing to do with. Nothing to do with. Where is the history? I just want to know. So here's a couple things out of here. Page 11, it says, but to us, Africans and descendants of Africans, this period is deeply interesting. We have sensibly felt the sad effects of this abominable traffic. And he's talking about the slave trade, the abolishment of the slave trade in 1808. It has made, if not ourselves, our forefathers and kinsmen, its unhappy victim. There's a black man talking about him, his forefathers being unhappy victims of this slave trade. Not talking about white people. None of that. But we only get this because what? We fought to be free. Right? So we get this history. Right? We get this powerful speech because we never gave up. That's why we're here today. And pronounced on them and their posterity the sentence of perpetual slavery. Like I said, that's on page 11 in this book. Right? And he gives a little history of how it happened. Mutual agreements were then made. The Europeans were to supply Africans with those gaudy trifles, those little like shiny things, little gifts, which so strongly affected them, and the Africans in return were to grant the Europeans their prisoners of war and convicts as slaves. On page 15 in this book. Again, where's their history? Jackie Brown, where's this Aboriginal history? Do you got some names for us? No, Jackie Brown, we could read. I don't know what you're talking about. Not proving anything other than what we've been telling you. All through history, you will find us talking about what happened at the time, after the time. You will hear about it. Right? I started in the 1500s. Right now, we're in 1808. See, look, she's pushing this. Oh, slaves couldn't read bullshit. So what was Nat Turner doing when he was preaching from the Bible? He could read. Plenty of them could read. I don't know where you're getting this from. I don't know where you're getting this from.
But seriously, does anybody find it funny that Abos have no elders in the 17, 1800s, no ancestors, no activists, nobody who speaks the way they speak? You can't find one black person in the 16, 17, 1800s that says, oh, black people didn't come from Africa, who say that black people are indigenous to America, who even say, oh, black people had white slaves by the millions. None of the shit they say that is not supported, right? They might have some fringe or white authors who write the shit and say little dumb shit like that. But even in their books, there's no evidence that supports it. I don't even think they know how to read a book and to try to find a source that the author is using and backtrack to get where it's coming from. But that's not even the topic. The topic is, where's the black people from the past who say what they say? That's the topic. So where is it? That's what I want to know.
So what we talking about? The abolition of the slave trade, right? 1808. So this is an article from the Evening Post, July 21st, 1808, page 2. The African school celebrating the end of the slave trade. At the African school, they're celebrating the end of the slave trade. It says the people of color are requested to attend a general meeting at the African schoolroom on Friday evening, June 22nd at 7 o'clock, in order to make arrangements for celebrating the abolition of the slave trade. It's July 18th. Paper came out the 21st. They wrote this on the 18th. Like I said, you're going to see us talking about this stuff. I don't know what Jackie Brown's talking about. I want to see who's y'all Aboriginal leaders. Who? We don't see it. Ogun, peace, peace. King Kapala, peace. Does anybody know? Like, it's like, where's Waldo? Where's the Abo history? Talking about we can't read. Just crazy. Again, the Free African School celebrating the abolition of the slave trade, 1808. Right? So this is a poem. This is called The Sorrows of Yamba, or the Negro Woman's Lamentation. Right? This is in 1819. It says The Sorrows of Yamba. In St. Lucia, distant isles, still with Africa's love I burn. Parted many a thousands of miles, never, never to return. So we're writing poems about this. Women, men, like she said, still with Africa's love I burn, parted many a thousand miles, never, never to return. Come con death and give me rest. Yamba has no friend but thee. Thou can't ease my throbbing breast. Thou can't set the prisoner free. Down my cheeks the tears are dripping. Broken is my heart with grief. Mangled my poor flesh with uh with whipping come con death and bring relief. Born on Africa's golden coast, once I was blessed. Once I was as blessed as you. Parents tender, I could boast. Husband dear and children too. But she's saying, listen, I had all the things you had. Right? She's just reminiscing about being in Africa. Had a family. The whitey man. He came from far, sailing all the briny flood, who, with help of British tar, buys up human flesh and blood. With the baby at my breast, other two were sleeping by. In my hut I sat at rest, with no thought of danger nigh. From the bush, at eventide, rushed the fierce man stealing crew, seized the children by my side, seized the wretched Yamba too. This is in 1819. So you see us talking about these tragic things. And Jackie Brown, yes, you can go back. I did a couple things on Nat Turner. I did I ain't gonna say the whole second round, but about 80% of the second round was based on Nat Turner and his trial. And I even brought up his descendant. He has descendants. Did you know that? So yeah, he was real. I don't even know how you can even dare to prove.
That's another crazy thing, right? Yo, the link is in the chat if anybody want to pop up. But they even try to say, like, Nat Turner, they'll try to say he was fake and dumb shit like that. Right? They're worse than the white people trying to erase our history. Look at Desmond. This my cousin, y'all. Yeah, I said I was just thinking, where's not because the other channel's dead, but peace, not how you been saying. Yo, I'm good, bro. Same old shit, Uh, just really working and being with the fam. That's really it. I really, every day I think about going live, but it just doesn't fit into my schedule. I'm definitely gonna start going live more. I know I've been saying that, but I need y'all right now. Everybody, stop what you're doing. Like, share the video. Share the video on YouTube timeline, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. Any Facebook groups you in, put that in there where these fake pretendians is at. Put that in there. We want to get a couple people pop out, see if we can get them to answer this question. And if anybody in the chat now that can answer the question, like, where are the black people, 17, 1800s preferably, that agree with these pretendians, these abos, like when they say You know, we should be, like, we could find a continuous history since the day Black Americans got in America. We could find a continuous history of them telling them the story of how they got here, right? Where they're from, who they are, and that nature. We can't find that with the Abel. It's like they just popped up out of nowhere. Babe, pass me that later.
I dare I even say some shit like, "Oh, can I prove Nat Turner?" What? Yes, yes, it's been proven. He has living, breathing descendants today. What type of silly question is that? I need everybody to share the video, like the video. All right, we talking about Black history. Who do we say we are?
And it's like, what type of audacity does somebody have to question uh, Nat Turner if he was real, or, you know what I'm saying, his intentions and shit like that? Like, you got to be some real sick person and really hate yourself, because that goes with Black history. You know, they'll say I'm not Black. That's because they always view Black as being inferior, right? They fell for the white supremacy trick, right? We, like, for the majority, Black people don't think that they're inferior to anybody, right? We one of the most cockiest, confident people in the world. So why would we think that there's something wrong with being Black, right? We love who we are, but a lot of people don't.
As we can see so far, we're up in 1819. We started in the 1500s. We definitely, there's a theme here. We said we came from Africa. There's no ifs, ands, but about it. Here we have David Ruggles, born in Connecticut, March 15th, 1810. Died December 16th, 1849. And this is one of my favorite people, right? This is one of my favorite people. David Ruggles was an African American abolitionist writer, published.
Like, I always say this, right? I always say this. We need a movie about David Ruggles, right? Based around the Vigilance Committee and how they was, you know, the abolitionists in New York, the New England area, and the type of things they was doing. Like, they was really putting that work in. A lot of things that people would probably be scared to do today. You know, running up in courts, going up on boats, checking, making sure ain't no Black people enslaved on there. Right, that was a dangerous job in the 1800s. We definitely need a movie about him.
Publisher and a courageous voice of Black freedom. We need a David Ruggles movie. That's what we need. He assisted hundreds escaping slavery and mentored future abolitionists such as Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, and William Cooper Neal.
Yo, definitely appreciate that super chat. Definitely appreciate that super chat, T Love. He said, "Peace, fam." Let me put it on the screen. He said, "Peace, fam. Definitely appreciate the lives and bringing out the true history." Yo, bro, you know we just love these conversations, right? I love talking about history, especially American history, just because, you know, that shit is about our ancestors, right? Regardless of where you from, your peoples took place in some type of historical event, right? A lot of our ancestors, right, voted for the first time in 1868, right? We can find those documents, right, and show how we are the first. We can find the first Black person to vote in our family, right? First Black people to serve, right? You know, there was Black people that served in the Revolutionary War. But for the most part, we'll find our records in the Civil War, right? And what are they doing? They fighting for the freedom, not only of themselves, but for the rest of the Black people, right? What other sign of Pan-African is there? Pan-Africanism is there, right? than fighting in a war to free the rest of the black people. Right? Some of these people, they're leaving, they're running away from plantations, right? Going to Union Army camps, right? Living in these contraband camps, and they're like, you know what? They could have been like, I'm gonna sit this one out, or I'm just gonna go off somewhere and hide. Nah, they like, nah, lace me up, put me back in, going right back, right? To me, that should mean a lot because I can find several members of my family who who was in the Civil War, and that's just like the strongest way of showing, right, that what I feel is Pan Africanism and us just caring about the next man, the next woman, the next child. That shit is and a lot of our families took place in that, right? And then from that point on, people in our family, they're being the first to do X, Y, Z, first to graduate college, high school, or whatever it is, right? So the history is all around us. But yo, the link's in the chat. Y'all can definitely hit the link.
You definitely need a David Ruggles movie. Oh, the last one with the black people own white slaves in America. That second round, I went into the Nat Turner revolt, the court case, the list of all the white people killed, the trials where they talk about how they're on trial for killing white people, because the claim was that, like Jackie Brown's going with, you can't prove if he's real. And what A1 was trying to say was, well, if he is real, he was hired to kill black slave owners. Right. So I just dismantled that in the second round of my last debate I had. Yeah. By the early 1830s,
Yo, why I should work, I already know how that shit go. He would definitely be up here, but we gonna get some people to jump on the panel. I already definitely would appreciate it if you could have jumped up here. But we're gonna keep this shit going. Like I said, y'all, I need y'all to share, like the video. Share and like the video, y'all. But let's get back to this history.
so Ruggles became involved in the growing anti-slavery movement in New York, advocating for practical abolitionism, arguing that abolitionists should not just philosophize about the day slavery would end, but strive to help all victims of human bondage. He also advocated the use of civil disobedience and self-defense. He was with them hands. No ifs, ands, but about it. He was with those hands. We need a movie about him. I'm telling you, the beginning scene should be him and like 10 other black men walking up on a boat, just checking them white boys. Like, you sure you ain't got nothing you supposed to have on this boat? Right? Remember, he used to run up on the ships, making sure there wasn't no slaves in it in New York. That would be crazy. So David Ruggles, right, in 1828, opened a grocery shop. Ruggles Grocery Shop at 1 Cortlandt Street was also a circulating library and reading room for African Americans who were denied access to New York's public libraries. His was the nation's first black-owned bookstore. David Ruggles owned the first black-owned bookstore. And there, Ruggles sold anti-slavery publications until it was destroyed by a mob. Between 1838 and 1841, he wrote, printed, and published the first journal edited by an African American. That was called the Mirror of Liberty. David Ruggles was a visible conductor of the Underground Railroad and helped at least 600 enslaved people to freedom, including Frederick Douglass. Ruggles was also a founder of the New York Committee of Vigilance, which fought against the practice of kidnapping free blacks in New York, as well as fugitive African Americans and legally selling them into slavery in the South. Ruggles would openly confront kidnappers, slave catchers, and the Vigilance Committee offered their victims legal assistance. This is the NAACP before there was an NAACP. They was with them hands. Ruggles himself experienced at least one such attempt kidnapping. They tried to kidnap him and sell him into slavery. Right. So where's the abos that was fighting? Oh yeah, I forgot. Nothing never happened to them. Nothing happened to them on no other group. Look, now Harriet Tubman ain't real. Rosa Parks story is fake. Yo, do this in March. Don't do this in February. Let's not do this month. Right? Harriet Tubman. What? David Ruggles helps escape slave, and he's put on trial. He gets arrested for this. The slave case. From New York Express of yesterday, Mr. Barney, of course, the individual charged with receiving the money stolen from Mr. J.P. Dog by his slave Tom Hughes, and of aiding in the escape of the felon, was yesterday brought for examination and declined answering any questions. Listen, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. He was required to give bail in the sum of $5,000 for his appearance for trial. We ain't saying nothing. A colored man named David Ruggles was yesterday arrested on the charge of aiding in the escape of concealment of the Negro Tom. So he's also charged with the Negro Tom. The examination of Ruggles was began about 2:00 in the afternoon and was not brought to a close till about 9 in the evening. They was interrogating this man for 7 hours. David Ruggles on examination stated that his age was 29. He resided at 36 Lispinard Street, born in Lyme, Connecticut, is the editor of the Mirror of Liberty, and declines answering any questions relative to the slave Tom or his acknowledgement of his concealment. Listen, I plead the fifth. I don't know no Tom. I don't know where he's at. For 7 hours. We ain't giving you nothing. Oh yeah, this is crazy. She gives no evidence. She just makes the claim. But Jackie Brown, you're really a religious one. You believe in all this other stuff that lines up right with the Bible, but you just say you don't believe in it. We don't believe you. Ruggles was required to find bail in $3,000 for his appearance for trial, and complying with which he was liberated. So he paid his bail and got out. Right? So we could see this happening. Right? You got the free, you got the enslaved. You got the free blacks helping the enslaved blacks, whether they got to break crimes or not. Right? This is our history. I don't know what them abos be talking about. I don't know what the Moors be talking about. Them Indians, I don't know what they talking about. They want to try to act like these things wasn't happening. It's documented. We have it. No, Jackie, you're boring. Henry Highland Garnett, you should learn something. Get your pen and paper out. Right? He was born in Maryland. Look, this is the black Americans y'all talking about. Where's y'all abos at? You couldn't make a list of abos. If you tried. You couldn't. Yeah.
They could never make a list of abos from the past. Who would they start with? Right? Like earlier today, I heard Root Words talking about Benjamin Banneker as if he was an abo. Salute, Ricardo, as if Benjamin Banneker was an abo, right? Benjamin Banneker's father was straight from Africa. His mother was white and black. Her father was straight from Africa. So where does the indigenous part come in at? There is no indigenous part, right? He was basically 75% African and a quarter white, right? He has letters written to Thomas Jefferson where he talks about him being a black man of the African race. So like, where do these dudes even like? We know they just make the shit up. Shit is sick.
She ain't gonna hit the link. She ain't gonna hit the link. It's coming soon. The link will be out there in about 10 minutes. I got a couple more slides, maybe less than that. She ain't gonna hit the link. Who's Henry Highland Garnett? Born 1815, died 1882. Maryland. Was an African American abolitionist, minister, educator, and orator, having escaped as a child from slavery in Maryland with his family. We have a survivor of the Maafa. On Sunday, February 12th, 1865, he delivered a sermon in the U.S. House of Representatives, the first colored man who has on any occasion spoken in our national capital on the occasion of the Congress passage on January 30th.
So this is another great person, right? He's the first black person to speak in the House of Representatives, right? And he's given a speech on the passing of the 13th Amendment, which abolishes slavery in America, in the United States, right? Where the abos when this is happening? That's all I want to know. Is where they can never place themselves in history. It's always some obscure fucking bullshit and reading between the lines, dodge the hijack, made up garbage every single time with them. They can never give you names, dates, and locations like we can. Why? Because our story is true, right? And they love to say, "Oh, it's a narrative." Narrative don't mean it's fake, right? You have slave narratives; they're telling their story. Narrative is just telling a story, right? And in the case of this topic, the stories are true. So we have a continuous history over centuries of us talking about this shit happening non-stop. So I don't even know how they even got the audacity to come up with half the shit they be coming up with. And they know it's fake. That's why when you really try to question them, that's when they start calling you names and shit. These niggas are sad.
31st of the 13th Amendment, ending slavery. So he's the first colored man to speak at the House of Representatives, 1865. Where's the Aboriginal? Right? And this is his speech. They turned into a book. Right? It's called Garnett's Memorial Discourse. Introduction by James McCune Smith. Right? So we linked in. We got the first doctor. His ancestors did not come over in the Mayflower, nor the land at Plymouth Rock, nor kiss the Blarney Stone of the Pilgrim's father. On the contrary, his grandfather was stolen by slave traders from the coast of Africa, survived the horrors of the Middle Passage on a ship, doubtless owned in Bristol or Boston, landed on the James River, and was thence transferred to the state of Colonel William Spencer at Newmarket, doomed to perpetual slavery, himself and his heirs forever. Page 17 from the introduction made by Dr. James McCune Smith. So this is James McCune Smith giving the introduction about Henry Highland Garnett, saying his grandparents was from Africa. This isn't new. This Abo stuff is new. This is why you can't get nothing out of them. Any conversation you have with an Abo, you're gonna argue. You're gonna argue. Smith was the first African American to receive a medical degree, then opened the first black pharmacy. That's Dr. James McCune Smith. You got history everywhere. Where's the Abo pharmacy? Where's the who? Jackie Brown, tell us who was the first Aboriginal doctor? Or give us any Aboriginal doctor, please. Anyone. So it says, "Go to the shores of the land of my forefathers." This is Henry Highland Garnett talking. "Go to the shores of the land of my forefathers, poor bleeding Africa, which, although she has been ravaged or reaved and robbed for centuries, is nevertheless beloved by all her worthy descendants wherever dispersed." Even back then, he knows the history, but what he said, he still loves Africa. Always gonna love it. This is 1865. Here you go, Jackie. Harriet Tubman's parents, pure African blood, is from the Richmond Weekly, Palladium, March 23rd, 1869, page 1. Jackie Brown could never cite her source. What does it say? So this actually comes from an article where they're talking about a uh, a book that was written about Harriet Tubman in 1869. So this is what they said. Miss Harriet Tubman was born the year 1820 in Dorchester County on the eastern shores of Maryland, and not far from the town of Cambridge. Not a drop of white blood flows in her veins. Her parents are both pure blooded Africans, and they still live at the advanced age of 98, as near as can be estimated from certain records. And though thus aged and living out beyond the toll gate on the South Street Road, Auburn, New York, they walk in every Sunday, more than a mile to the Central Church. So they 98 years old, Africans walking to the church. After service, they go to a class meeting at the Methodist Church, then then wait for the third service, and after that, start for home. See, even church was long back then. It was all day long. Right? So we see that this is a continuous history. I don't care what an Abel tells you. Like I said, we started in 15, 16, 17, 1800s. It's a continuous history. It never changed. But we got people that get on the internet today.
And that's the key part. I don't think people understand. There is a continuous history, right? We can start with Anthony Johnson. His grandson later on in the late early 1700s, he gets land and he names the land Angola in honor of his grandfather, Anthony Johnson, right? So we could just go on and on 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, still in the 2000s, right? Century after century, we know our history. We know where we came from, right? So then they'll try to ask stupid questions like, oh, well, what tribe you from? Black Americans aren't from one specific tribe. We are from multiple different areas in West and Western Central Africa, right? You do a DNA test, you'll see. You'll have several African places in your DNA, right? So we understand this. These Africans came over here. Some wasn't even around each other on the continent of Africa, but then they're forced, right, to be around each other in America. And what do? They get together, have kids, they blend the culture, blend the languages, right, while learning English and learning to be American. And this is why we have this unique culture that we have today. I don't really see what the issue is.
And the whole story changed. Everything is different now. But the only bad thing is they have no sources. They literally just making this shit up. Right? This is from the Howard Orphan Asylum, Entertainment by the Children. This is the article from the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, June 3rd, 1878, page 2. Right? If our mothers and our fathers are Africans, we must be African. Right? So this is a famous orphanage that was in New York City. The little inmates of Howard Colored Orphan Asylum have an exhibition of their singing yesterday afternoon in the AME Church on Bridge Street near Myrtle Avenue. That's Brooklyn. The attendance was good. The orphans occupied reserved seats near the pulpit. They opened The exercises with the song entitled Marching On. The Reverend John F. Thomas, pastor of the church, offered prayer. Another song was sung by the school, and Mr. Thomas made some interesting remarks. I can read in the face of these children, said he, a degree of intelligence that recollects honor on the institution they represent. It is the pride of every civilized country in the world to do something for its poor and forsaken. Besides our religious teachings and our benevolence, there is a love of nationality existing within the breast of every human being. There is a story told of a boy who said he did not know what nationality he was, but he said his mother was Irish and his father was Irish. So he must have been Irish too. So with us, so with us, so with us, our mothers were Africans and our fathers were Africans. We must be African, but we are American African. The American nation is composed of a variety of nationalities.
Like it's that simple. We are American Africans, or what we call ourselves today, African Americans. You could just switch the words around. Right? So this concept was already understood. We are African descended people in America. It's not that it's not that hard. It's really not. Like I don't even know how we even got here, how we still here having these conversations.
And I suppose that is the reason it is so strong. We feel proud to be identified with the American people, the people of the United States of America, the noblest type of humanity now existing on the globe. There has been a good deal said recently about. Like I said, if our mothers are Africans and our fathers are Africans, we must be African. Jackie Brown, relax. Come up with some history. Right? And this is a little something for the Indians, right? King Blue. This is one of another one of my favorite people, right? He was out there terrorizing them Indians because they wasn't giving him and his people they just do, right? King Blue, it says the former slaves formed political organizations and appointed people to represent their concerns before Congress in Washington, D.C. And one of those individuals was King Blue, who was enslaved by Benjamin Colbert, a member of a large slaveholding Colbert family of Chickasaws. So on the right over here, you can see his freedman rolls. We've seen examples of freedman rolls plenty of time. We've seen Smoke Hawkins freedman rolls. On these freedman rolls, it'll tell you.
We got Sean P in the building. Sean P, what's good? He's the YouTube hijacker. A couple weeks ago, he hijacked my channel. I ain't even know it, but that's my guy. That's why he got the keys. He can do whatever he want. Well, I definitely trust him. Oh, Virus said the link is above. Damn, I'm in the stream, y'all, so I can't click it. But next time we have a conversation, I would definitely like you to bring that up, Vi. Well, so we can go into that. I'm gonna try to remember to go into it. But Sean, what you doing, man? You ain't doing nothing. Pop on, man. They trying to leave me up here by myself.
The person and who they was enslaved by. This one, it tells him that he was enslaved by Benjamin Colbert. He's 43 at the time. Right, this is 1898 Freeman card number 135.
I definitely agree.
So you can look this up.
I definitely agree with that.
So we have a clipping down here. Indian Journal, January 11th, 1883, page 1.
Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm gonna let this clip play. Oh, Virus jumped off. Sean, I'm gonna let this clip play real quick, and then I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say, because this one's about to be over real quick.
It says a delegation of 3 colored men and 1 Indian have gone to Washington from the Chickasaw Nation to have freedmen questions settled. They want to be admitted as citizens and to enjoy all rights and privileges and annuities as such. So this is what he wrote in 1882.
What's good, Sean? Oh, all right, you dropped in the back chat. Sean P, what's good?
Chilling, bro, chilling.
I appreciate
Still
that.
came up to support. You know how it go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Getting the history lesson in.
Yeah, Sean. Like I've been asking these dudes for years. Like, where is the black people in history that agree with y'all?
You have. We ain't get no answer to that question.
Like you would think that, right? Like, for instance, let's think about the Dred Scott case when the judge made the ruling and said, "Oh, Dred Scott, he's supposed to be enslaved because he's black and his ancestors came from Africa."
Right.
Where was the Aboriginal pushback? Right? How come they wasn't writing, talking about the shit in their newspapers and shit like that? Right? Like, where was that at?
Because they ain't had no newspapers or no argument against it.
But how they invented English and writing and shit like that? They invented
Right.
the printing press. Like, what the fuck?
Well, when we dealing with history and then we dealing with mythology, you know what I'm saying? With
Yeah,
mythology, you're going to be able to make up your own shit. That's what they're doing right now. The FBA to the ABO. They're making their own shit up right now. So it's a mythology. It
yeah.
ain't nothing that's correlated to anything because genetically speaking, they'll never come out and be like, see, we been here. If you been here, just show the evidence.
That's
Bring the
it.
bodies up.
And like Sean, I know you like me, right? We not biased. So if evidence is saying something otherwise than what we already believe we know,
Right. We're
we
gonna we gonna concede to the evidence and accept it.
have no choice.
Right. And the more people that they just gotta realize, bro, the truth of the matter is simple. The more people that you have with genetic evidence and any field of evidence in the scientific field that can prove your existence and your ancestry existence here in the Americas, then you're owed something. You're not online just bumping your gums. You deserve a check, bro. You supposed to be getting some type of benefits. Like someone in your family is owed something that everybody else is getting but your black ass.
And
Like your
that will be one of the biggest historical and scientific discoveries ever made, like in the recent time, right? Like, so you know how much money is in that alone
tons of millions of dollars.
that they're just missing out on, just being on YouTube, just running their mouth.
Saying they the people that been here. Just saying the shit.
Just saying this shit, just making us all look bad. Like,
Facts.
this shit is terrible, man. Like, we got a real live Chickasaw Freedman on the screen, King Blue. Oh, Sean fell off. But in this next slide, we got King Blue. This is in 1888. He is tired of how him and his people, he goes on to say it's 4,000 of them, right? They're tired of being treated the way they treat us, second class citizens in the Chickasaw Nation. So they take their show on the road and go to the government, right? In the last slide, I showed that article talking about them going to talk to the government and see if they can get some relief from how they're being treated in the Chickasaw Nation. And he goes and says that there's 4,000 of us Negroes of African descent here living in this nation, right? They understand they're part of an Indian tribe or nation, right? They understand that, but they also understand their ancestry goes back to Africa. Whether some of them are adopted by these tribes or was enslaved by them or even mixed with them, but they know that that part of them came from Africa, and they go on and say it. What's good, Sean? You back? You fell off?
Hell yeah, I fell off. My whole thing is this though when it comes to the eyeball. Like they online doing all this shit, but it's real black people that understand their ancestry that's out in them fields fighting for their identity. And they fighting even among the tribes that their families was a part of. And y'all they ain't never online. They too busy working. And
Mm-hmm.
how do y'all got all the time to say y'all these people, and then y'all ain't never in the field with the people that's in the field? They ain't never on your platforms. They ain't out here talking about they indigenous to the Americas, claiming they always been here. They ain't doing none of the stuff that these people online doing. They
Not
ain't selling you. They ain't selling you no identification cards. Telling you, you know
no
what I'm
freedom
saying?
packages.
Facts. They ain't selling no fake cars. They ain't doing none of this dumb stuff everybody else doing online. They
Charge
just doing the work.
$200 to do your genealogy.
Right.
Like it don't work like that. Not in the real world. Like,
Bro.
these dudes live in la la land. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then ducking the smoke.
but when it comes down to like saying, okay, so what are y'all doing? That's when they start backpedaling and be like, nah, we all individuals. We got to do for self first and da 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 da. Like, nah, nigga, if y'all making the claim that y'all are the indigenous people of America, y'all need to get together and put that claim on paper. And y'all have the evidence, push it through. That would be a crazy discovery. That would make every news channel because they would literally have to rewrite everything, all the history, right? So y'all ain't got no evidence. They can't even name somebody from the 1700s who said that they always been here. But I'm gonna go back to the video, Sean.
Right? It's called The Eloquent Protest of the Chickasaw Freedmen. Right? The Eloquent Protest of the Chickasaw Freedmen, written in 1882. This piece is one of the most eloquent documents written by freedmen leaders King Blue and Isaac Alexander. They made an appeal in the form of a document called the Memorial of the Chickasaw Freedmen. In this document, their plight and their plea for assistance from the United States is felt by the reader. It is pronounced on this page in its entirety. This is it in its entirety. The undersigned, so this is a quote from it. The undersigned your memorials respectfully show that they are residents of the Chickasaw Nation and area, persons of African descent, and were born and bred in the said nation. Your memorials represent not only themselves, so they like to say, well, he can't speak for everybody. He can't speak for everybody. Well, he is, because he says your memorials represent not only themselves, but also that class of persons known in the nation as persons of African descent, of which class there are about 3,000 individuals. 3,000 individuals. Again, this is from the Memorial of the Chickasaw Freedmen, written in 1882. These men went to, like I just showed you, they went to D.C. to talk to the people about getting their rights. They had to go to the United States government. Right down here, you can go. It's called the Indian Journal, January 11, 1883, page 1. Go get the newspaper, right? And you can see what they wrote them, right? It's called the Memorial of Chickasaw Freedmen, written in 1882. All you got to do is put that into your little Googles, and that's going to pop up. They wrote it to the Senate and the House of Representatives, right? We have this documented history. Even the Indians, even the ones y'all call Indians, even the ones that are in these so-called nations, they still talking about they African. Yeah, we belong to Indian nations, but we are African. We're people of African descent. It's never changed. Not once. Not once over time has it changed. Not once. I need y'all to tell me if y'all hear echo when this shit plays, because for some reason, whenever I put a video on my presentation, sometimes it be echoing. So let me know if it.
The reason why I wanted to make this video was because I remember this story that my mom used to tell us. So apparently in my
Was there echo? Somebody tell me if there's an echo. Let me know real quick. Somebody.
Nah,
Was
nigga,
there echo?
there was no echo. But yo, this video right here is real important, right? Because we actually have African who took a DNA test from Ancestry, which is a company that's really only sold in the Americas and Europe. That's where a lot of people take their tests. Oh, we got Chris Harris in the building. Peace, bro. Peace, peace, peace. You can definitely hit the panel if you want to. But so we have an African, a continental African who took the DNA test and actually found Americans, right? So let's just listen to what she says because she gives good insight on the oral history that she got from her family and things like that.
Turn it up. Don't go nowhere. That's the loudest it goes. What? Did you hear echo? No echo, just slow. Okay. We have to deal with that. So all history meets science. African woman DNA does a DNA test to reconnect with African Americans.
The reason why I wanted to make this video was because I remember this story that my mom used to tell us. So apparently in my family, there's like a great, I don't know how many greats, how many generations, but a great, like an ancestor. Well, not an ancestor, but a brother of an ancestor. So it's a great uncle who just disappeared one day, just vanished from the village and was never seen again. And so everybody in the family kind of agreed. I mean, that's the story we've heard. That's the story we hear today, that he was probably taken to be kidnapped, stolen, to become a slave in the Americas, and so we never heard from him again. We never, but thanks to technology today, it's just amazing. So after, when you get your test results, you get to see who and how many people you're related to, in this country, in the United States. And I was very surprised to see that there's over 700 people I'm related to. Here are my DNA results. So I'm 99% from Cameroon, Congo, Southern Bantu peoples. This is probably, the Funk tribe because, yeah, we're from, see, Gabon, Cameroon, Congo, the small Congo, Congo Brazzaville. And this tiny country here is Equatorial Guinea. So here it is. Now let's go check out my matches. All right, so I'm gonna hide the names. And there you go. I have like hundreds and hundreds of people. It's crazy. It's crazy. So most of them are African American. Some of them are Latinos, and a few are even Asian and white. And I was very surprised. And when you look at their DNA profiles, you see that they have some African ancestry. I guess they just look white or Latino. I mean, because it's probably the majority of their genes, but they do have some African genes. It's just wow. So we see a lot of people. I'm surprised. I'm like, wow. So this person, if indeed it's him, if this person was taken from my family, had a lot of descendants. And who knows, maybe there was more than one person who was taken. I don't know. Anyway, this is the one story that I know. So I thought I'd share it with you. So here goes.
So
You heard
for
her.
the
This
slow
the story she.
for the slow people in the back, right? Her great uncle was brought over to America and had children. Those children had children who had children, and this is how somebody today can take a DNA test and match the Africans, right? Because they share a common ancestor. It's something very simple, right? I need y'all to like, share the video, y'all. And yo, don't be scared to hit the panel, y'all. Jump up here, right? But it's very simple. Even today, I just recently, like 2 weeks ago, combing through my thousands of DNA matches, found another continental African that I'm related to, right? So it's really there. Like the connection is not lost. So I don't even know why people bugging like this. It really makes no sense. The history, the science, it all backs it.
She knows this story. She had the oral history, and then it lined it up. It lines right up with the DNA test. Right? I wish this thing would move. So oh, okay. So if you want to look for that video, it's called "Finding Distant African American Relatives: African DNA Test," and the channel name is Tell Me Alice. A channel name is Tell Me Alice. The video is named "Finding Distant African American Relatives: African DNA Test." Her channel is Tell Me Alice. And you can see the whole video. The whole video is probably about 7-8 minutes long, so it's not that long. Right? Again, we started off with King Alfonso from Congo and Zinga. I mean, and Zum. What was his name? And Zinga Mbumba, or something like that. Sorry if I'm messing his name. But we start off with him in 1526, writing letters to the Portuguese talking about, hey, yo, you're taking my people. You know, that wasn't part of the deal. You're supposed to basically, as we learned, other people would basically give up their prisoners of war or their convicts to these Europeans, right? So this is an apology for Ghana to Africans in the diaspora.
I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade, where over 400 years ago, millions of our brothers and sisters were captured, sold, and transported under inhumane and cruel circumstances through Elmina Castle across to the Caribbeans and to the New World. On behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, I do render unqualified apology, deep from the bottom of our hearts. Deep from our bottom of our hearts.
Again, we hear from all these people that say, yo, these Africans don't talk about this. Well, the ones we're from, they do. Y'all too busy talking on the East African.
Yeah, that's a funny thing too, right? Like this is Ghana, this is West Africa. They talk about the transatlantic slave trade, but whenever you talk to like these pretendians and these people, when they go over, oh, we talk to Africans and they don't know nothing about the slave trade. You talking to somebody from Ethiopia or Kenya, you know what I'm saying? People had no involvement in the transatlantic slave trade. So why would they be taught about something that has nothing to do with their history? Right? That shit makes no sense. Right? They're talking about East and North Africans. Somebody went to Morocco and they're like, oh, they don't look black and oh, they don't know nothing about the slave trade. Yeah, because they had nothing to do with the shit. Go to Nigeria, go to Benin, Togo, Ghana, go to Senegal, go to all those places, Angola, Congo. They're gonna tell you about, right, the colonization and the transatlantic slave trade.
and trying to say like they're supposed to know something about us. No, they're technically not. Why should they? They should know about their history. But you talk to them West Africans, they're gonna tell you what's up. They know who we are. They know exactly who we are. So, what's that comment? What the hell is that comment? Oh yeah, niggas don't know one African. Niggas is crazy, right? So this is a DNA. This is for my DNA test on ancestry, right? This is one of my cousins from Africa. I found about 6, 7, maybe 8, something like that. But this is one. I was gonna put them all in here, but I just didn't feel like it. But my Nigerian cousin, right? You can look up this last name. You'll see it's from Nigeria. He's 100% Nigerian. Right? This is a conversation we had on the ancestry message app, right? What he say? He says, "Hello, I just wanted." Well, I said, "Hello, I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself. My name is." Family calls me. I'm from New York. I'm 38. This was 2 years ago. Anyway, I just wanted to start a conversation. Hope to hear from you soon. He writes back. Hi, I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria, an Igbo by tribe. Nice to meet you. I was wondering, have you matched to other people in America? You know, it's a big deal for us when we can find a cousin from the continent of Africa. He says, yes, I have 149 matches here. So he has 149 other American cousins, right? So it's not just me. This isn't a one off. And those are just the ones that took the test, right? So,
Like we really just can't just skip over this shit, right? They constantly saying, "Oh, the ethnicity part of DNA don't work, but you can find family." But then when we find our African cousins, they want to deny it, right? And say, "Oh, they just put that there." Why? Why would they just put that there? They don't have to, right? I got almost 20,000 cousin matches. It might be over 20,000 now. I've seen some people with 4,000, some people with 50,000. It just depends how many, people took the test. And your numbers go up. Weekly, you'll see you get new cousin matches constantly because people are taking DNA tests all the time, right? Everybody's not living in that abo bubble and scared to take DNA tests. People are trying to figure out who they are, what's inside their DNA, and they matching that DNA with the genealogy. That's how you're supposed to do it, and using both them tools to get to the research question of, who am I? Where do I come from? Who am I related to? It's really this simple. It's nothing special, right? You could take a DNA test today, and those you might not see those African cousins in your DNA matches as soon as you take the test and you start looking through them, because he might not have took it. Him or her might not have took the test yet. But as you have it over the years, you will find them. And you got thousands of matches. You know how hard it is to go through thousands of matches individually, one by one, to look at their DNA profile and see who they are. Like, I can only do a couple a day, you know what I'm saying? And I don't do it every day. So I know I still got matches on Ancestry that I haven't seen yet. Right? I think I found like 6, 7, maybe 8 continental Africans in my DNA on my cousin matches list. But I know there's probably more. Because when I found the first one, I said there's more. Found the second one, there was more. And still finding them. Just you got to know how to look. Right? Maybe one day we'll go over that, how to look for, uh, look through your matches to try to look for the continental African.
so like I said, that was on Ancestry. This is on 23andMe, right? 23andMe connected me to the Igbo tribe. I just showed you. I have a cousin who said what? An Igbo by tribe. He's from the eastern part of Nigeria, and Igbo by tribe. So, well, what did this DNA test tell me? Told me I was 25.9% Nigerian, 26%. He said Igbo people highly likely match. So if you look up highly likely in a scientific content context, it's going to give you 90 to 100% accurate. That's what they're saying. Their confidence is 90 to 100% that it's a match with the Igbo people. Right? It says you are connected through shared ancestors to people from the southern Nigeria, many whom identify as Igbo. This means some of your ancestors may have lived in this area and may have relatives who still live here today. Right? Still live here today. What did Ojaro tell me? He told me he's from the eastern part of Nigeria and the Igbo by tribe. This is two different DNA tests, y'all. So this isn't the ancestry trying to gas me up and sell me a lie. Right? That's not what's happening here. This is the science working. Like we seen with the young lady who talked about how she found American cousins, and she's from the continent of Africa. Right? I'm telling you, I could have made 1,000 slides on just all this stuff. I don't want to take up too much of your time. This should be the end. Yep, we have to end. So, to the American Aboriginal community, where is the Aboriginal Americans in history? All we see is Africans and their descendants who became the Black Americans / African Americans. That's all we see.
Well, I hope y'all like that little presentation. I showed that a couple times. That ain't nothing new. Um, Damn, where the fuck everybody at, yo? Share and like the video, y'all. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Pull up. Word. I know I ain't in the algorithm like that because I don't even go live no more, but I really want to change this shit, but I got to make time. You know, you make time for the things you like, right? So I got to make time for this because I enjoy doing it. I love talking about the history. All right, let me show y'all something else that's dealing with my family because this is something that Abos really don't do. They don't show you nothing pertaining to their family. All right, let me go here first. Damn, I can't even see the screen now. Can y'all see this? Let me see. I'll make this small real quick. Let me see. How the fuck am All right. All right, so this is my second cousin 3 times removed, right? He was born in 1906. He was born October 4th, 1906, and he died July 1978. So this is my second cousin 3 times removed. And he actually did an interview. All right, let me change this. So that's William Francis. That's William Francis, right? Bunn. And he did an interview. Well, they quoted him in a news article. So let's go to this news article. Right? This is from the Brooklyn Eagle. It's from the Brooklyn Eagle, Monday, May 14th. And that's crazy because May 14th, that's my birthday. Right? But this is in 1934. Remember, I told you he was born in 1906. 1934. So let's read this article. This is my second cousin 3 times removed. All right, so this is what actually qualifies as oral history. So it says Old Long Island Old Long Islanders. Some of the oldest families in Brooklyn and on Long Island are Negroes. We are told by a state official who has spent years studying the matter. It seems that back in the 18th century, moneyed folk of Long Island made their living sending ships to sea ostensibly for the purpose of whaling. Actually, the vessels went over to Africa and picked up cargoes of Negroes. Their ships packed with dazed Africans. The Long Islanders started for Charleston, where they never had any trouble selling them to plantation owners. There was an unwritten law that if any Negroes on the trip over gave birth to children, the young ones could not be sold but were taken back to Long Island. There were in time quite a few of these free babies who grew up working about the homes of the ship captains. Right? So these babies, they're saying in this article, this is what they're saying in this article, that these babies that was born on a trip from Africa to America, they would bring them back to New York and they would be put to work, but they wasn't considered slaves. By and by, they drifted into various lines of employment. Few of them left Long Island. The two largest of these oldest Negro families on Long Island adopted the name Smith and Bunn. Bunn is a family name that is in my family, right? It's on my father's side. That's where the Bunns come from on that side. So it's my father's, no, my father's mother's side. And her father was damn, I can't remember. Oh, Hallett Bunn. Hallett Bunn. So, two largest of these oldest Negro families on Long Island adopted the names of Smith and Bunn. Yesterday, we went out to East Setauket, this is Long Island, to see a colored friend of ours by the name of William Bunn. This is my cousin, my second cousin, 3 times removed, born in 1906, who is being interviewed in 1934. He works in a garage, and all his close relatives are gainfully employed in Suffolk County. He himself studied for a while at Brown University. Mr. Bunn said, so this is what my cousin said. So he said, I think this story is true. What story? The story that they told about the Africans, the New Yorkers with these ships going to Africa, buying Africans, and any babies born on the ship would be sent to New York instead of being sold in South Carolina, excuse me. I think this story is true. I do know that my grandfather used to talk a lot about it. So his grandfather talked about it. And his grandfather is, I think it was James one. Let's see. Um, yep, James one, who would be my third great grandfather, right? So James one relayed this story to William Bunn, who was my second cousin 3 times removed. I do know that my grandfather used to talk a lot about it, and my family is very proud of how long it has been on Long Island, New York. Also, they talk a lot about how they do not come from the slave stock. So these are black people talking about how they've been free for a long time. And I have the documentation of seeing them on censuses and things like that in the 1840s, 50s, 60s, um, during that time before the Civil War. So I do have family that was enslaved, and I also have family who were free at the time of slavery, right? Which we are going to have because not every black person was a slave, but the majority was. So we try to find the names of Long Island Negroes who have become definitely prominent, definitely prominent, but we haven't been able to aside from finding that, the African Methodist Church in this country draws 30% of its Eastern pastors from Long Island, right? They try to find other people to talk to, they couldn't. But this is a story that has been, told in my family, and here it is expressed in this 1934 interview, right? So that's that. But like, when it comes to these abos, how do they attach themselves? Like, they can't even show you somebody in their family that was labeled an Indian, let alone showing that the black people are the original Indians. Right? That's just impossible. Let me see. So y'all just gonna be in the chat quiet tonight, huh? That's what we doing. Let's see what else we got in the clip. Oh, I'm gonna take me a quick little break to give me something to drink. I'm gonna play something in the meantime, in between time. Don't be scared to hit the link, y'all. Bye, so peace.
What's good, black man? How you been?
Ain't shit. Same old shit, bro. Different day. Just working with the
Same.
family. Well, but for that last video, right? That was just a bunch of newspaper articles that was talking about uh, Negroes revolting during slave era, right? But Vi, what's good, man? You off of work? You still on the clock?
No, I'm up here till 3:30. I'm on a break. Give me a second. I'm about to step outside.
I bet. But yeah, so even to the claim that they say, oh, slavery didn't happen, or black people wasn't enslaved, or it wasn't the way they said it was. Like, that's the worst one. It wasn't the way they said it was. Because, well, tell us how it was then. But they Oh, excuse me. They never do that, right? But we got hundreds of thousands of recorded incidents in newspapers of white people talking amongst themselves because at this time a lot of the times we didn't have our newspapers, right? We do get the first one in 1821 with the Freedom Journal. That's out of New York. But so these people are talking about how these Negroes is just acting up, tearing shit up, killing them, destroying their property, and a bunch of things like that. Like so, our history is told. Our history is solidified. I don't even see, like, back to the original question, where are the abos in history? Like, we don't find them. The abos start with Dan Calloway. From what, if somebody was to research them, that's where the origin is. Word, there's no black people in American history that was sitting there saying that we always been there. None. And I'm waiting for that, for somebody to show me something. I'm literally waiting for it. That would be an amazing day.
It ain't about to happen. You know that.
Yeah.
Well, well,
Listen,
let
but
me
you got it.
rephrase that. It's not gonna happen in an accurate and validated way. Some fabricated shit, maybe, but the actual discovery of real live documents, no, that ain't about to happen.
And you know what's crazy? Me and you, we both have Native American ancestry.
Hmm.
And we don't say the shit that they say. We understand that those are, black people and the real Aboriginals are two distinct groups of people
Yeah.
who met. Like when
Whom,
we're talking
and
about,
not to cut you off, in most cases, then and now, pride themselves on staying to themselves,
mm-hmm,
which is totally fair. You get what I mean? I don't even view it as a racial choice. It's just that's who they are. That's how they raised. That's their culture.
yeah. Especially when they look at how not staying to themselves got them. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't
Yeah.
get them nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like Native Americans got the bad part of the deal. So did the Africans.
I lightly touch like this book I'm working on. I'm not trying to make it a scholastic book. It's more like a prose style manifesto
Mm-hmm.
of observing. It's called Negro. That's mythology, and mythology goes back to Plato. He coined it, and that's when people no longer see a value in learning logic, wisdom. You get what I mean? Whether it
Mm-hmm.
becomes they view it as melancholic, waste of time, or whatever.
I want to ask you what that meant.
So I'm taking it and updating it to where when the spreading of misinformation develops its own methodology, you find a new form of mythology alongside of the burnout it causes in educators in the modern world, especially you start looking online. So if Dan Calloway gets millions of views and all the support and Sean can't get 10 people, you get what I mean? He may
Hmm.
emotionally and mentally say, what's the point? You get where I'm
Yeah,
going?
yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm also trying to expand the vocabulary in the community indirectly. That's a big part of it. So like I talk about paralogicals. That's I think John Hanson. Oh, we had the first Negro president and they trying to hide it. They see a picture of a man dressed well in
Hmm.
that time. That's paralogicalism.
Not understanding he was a
When you get
politician
presented
in
when you get
Liberia.
yeah when you get presented the accurate information and you reject it just to say nah, that's a lie. They just don't want us to know we had the first president as a black man. That's a misogynism. That's when you blatantly rejecting new information. You get where I'm going? So,
Absolutely.
so it's kind of to break these things down and just use real life examples in a way that anybody from 15 to 30 should be able to comprehend it and just build them a bulletproof armor,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
No, it makes 100%. I like that angle that you're going with too. So when can we expect this book?
It
Oh, you
all
don't have a
started.
date yet.
No, I don't, and I haven't got with the team to see if they want to, join forces. You more than free to jump in. It all started with Sean's last presentation when he was going over the COVID stuff again.
Uh huh.
And it was like, man, this would make a dope book if we just talked about mythology and shit. I was at work one night, bored as shit on a break at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was like, you know what? I can start writing from my phone. And a week later, I almost got chapter one done.
Uh huh. That's
So
how it starts too.
yeah, if they want to jump in, I'm leaving space. But if not, I've already laid out
I
a
think I
structure
could.
for
I think I could
five
think of something.
five chapters, and I took African quotes to hide the name of the number of the chapter. So like chapter one is one single bracelet doesn't jingle on its own. Chapter two is when two elephants wrestle, the ground suffers. But that's when entertainment meets education and the war in between, when the students ain't aligning with the teacher and the teacher ain't aligning with truth. You get where I'm going? It's the community that suffers.
No, I like this. I
And
like
it's
this
just
idea.
and it's just to keep, chapter three is three things bring a man to ruin. Too much talk, too much greed, and too much pride. So now you can attack a Dan Calloway and talk about we looking at it from in-house, but how does the world perceive us when it is the imagery of false information being valued more than accurate information, while we already stereotyped of not being educated. You get where I'm going?
Absolutely, because that is the face on. When it comes to social media, it's always the "we was king" shit. You know what I'm saying? The Dane Calloway bullshit, and now you got the FBA,
Yeah,
who just nothing but misinformation. So
right. And I'm trying not to attack anybody. There's certain things that I pointed out, that the entire community would be aware of, like Van Sertima. But I'm not attacking Van Sertima is to highlight the flaws in the thinking of his followers.
hmm
You get what I'm trying to say? And then I parallel that to Roots and how.
because even like for example him, right? And we talk about this misinformation, right? We know he was pushing misinformation, but even the people who actually you try to use his work, they don't even use what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they leave out the that these people originally from what Van Sertem was saying that these people traveled from Africa. They just essentially saying, oh, they was just look at the Olmec statues. It was black people here that look black. You feel what I'm saying? But they leave the African part out. So just
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to keep a balance in it because I really wanted, like, Q Butter's got his school launching, and I'm not trying to plug myself in, and think capitalistic at all. I'm looking at it like if he's going to have students and he's trying to develop um, an institution where multiple things get taught, let me write something that maybe them kids could enjoy. You get what I mean? That preps them on how to step into the world of methodology.
yeah,
You get where
because
I'm going?
that concept is a great thing to deal with methodology because you can see how they're missing steps in their methodology, right? If you ask them
Right.
how they came about, you know, how they came about to what they're claiming, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They can't even trace you back, you know what I'm saying? And go through the steps of, you know what I'm saying, how they even came to this point. It'll
Oh,
just be like, oh, I seen a
grandma,
video.
grandma's
Oh,
grandma
grandma
said,
said,
yeah, grandma said got bolted in there.
yeah,
And
oh,
I try to keep the humor because I parallel Van Sertima to Alex Haley, right?
uh,
Now, the The first one is just highlighting, the damage of misinformation and how it can corrupt the people. The flip side, to kind of keep it balanced, is drawing that same conclusion with entertainment. Now, if how they try to say the slave trade is a myth based off art, but art is needed to advance a culture. Expression is needed to advance a culture. There's so many lessons hidden within songs and art. You get what I'm trying to say? And
Mm-hmm.
the balance of later on in it is the beauty we find when we actually practice methodology and uncover our true story. That's what I meant by keep balance. Like not a full fledged assault. You get what I mean? Kind of just
Mm-hmm.
a simple rule book. It's just big brother talking to little brother saying, hey, when you step outside, be prepared for this. But if you play your game right, you're going to get these rewards type style.
I understand. I'm looking forward to that. I'd love to read it. Love to.
But I'm glad to see you pop back out. Just
Yeah,
haven't
man. I
heard
gotta.
haven't heard good old Mav Hoffa in a minute.
You funny. You ain't gonna never let that go, huh?
No, not until I can verify you ain't him.
See, my camera's fucked up on here. I would cam up, but my daughter, she fucking climbed up on my desk when I wasn't looking and knocked my computer over. Like,
Yeah,
so my
that's
fucking
another
camera
reason
is
I'm
fucked
using
up.
my phone is because I got them little ones now. And anything I do is they do, and I'm terrified I break them laptops off, out, get to work, and
And they
come
getting right
home,
to
and
it.
yeah, Daddy just simply can't afford to replace two MacBooks. So it's more so let me see if I can discipline myself enough to really utilize my phone for something else as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now it's hard to write on a phone if you're not used to it.
Yeah, I'm figuring it out. Like
Hmm.
maybe in the past 2 days, I got an inner joy as chapter one is coming together.
And especially if you're trying to like, I mean, it could be done. Don't get me wrong. You could definitely do it because what you using Word on your phone? What are you using
I
to
got
write?
I got an iPhone, so I'm doing Pages, which
Oh,
is the
okay.
equivalent of Word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But they'll assist you on like citing your sources and shit and putting it in format. But it's just easy on a computer. You know what I'm saying?
Far more easier, especially when you're trying to add aesthetics. And I don't know if Sean is still listening or if he here. I even disciplined myself to not use illustrative education this time. You know what I mean? You're only gonna get 5 images this time, opposed
Yeah.
to every other page when I was writing. I wanted to illustrate exactly what I meant.
You gotta show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I definitely want to get to that. You know what I'm saying? We could definitely pull that out on right over here and re-go through it.
And I'm trying to keep it from being source heavy. I'm quoting. I'll use quotes like I quoted Carter G. Woodson when he said I'm paraphrasing at the moment because I'm walking back to my station, but the the dissemination of information is not education. And I'll break that down later. Like anybody can just get up here and say random stuff. That's not
Hmm.
education. You get where I'm going?
Hmm.
So I'll use little things like that. But if it's me, I'll get distracted when I'm reading a body of work. Oh, what's this? Where'd they get this from? And next thing you know, I'm no longer where I started. I'm reading a source within a source that
Now,
I've tracked
yeah,
down a
in a
source. You
whole
get what
rabbit
I'm?
hole.
Yeah, yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It'll definitely. So yeah, making it not source heavy would stop that attention. You know what I'm saying? The missing attention to the book. Yeah, I get that. Okay, that's what's up, man. So yo, I heard you was talking to your boy V Note the other night.
Yeah, oh my goodness, man. I'm so tired of that. It is at least update your lie. At least update your method. You get where I'm going? Like
Hmm.
that gets irritating. And quit trying to get that off on black people. Don't get ran off on one platform and then go somewhere else. And
And do the
you get where
same
I'm
shit.
going?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
'Cause I was
And
talking to him like a week ago, week and a half ago,
I
and he
can't
was,
control other people. But I voted against him getting in that debate league because I
mm,
didn't want that to happen. As far as whether they knew it or not, you plant a battery and somebody like that back, you just gave them
more
validity to say
confident,
I'm right.
yeah,
Yeah, you get
and
where I'm
more
going.
confidence to go
Yeah,
on and push that shit somewhere because he was losing all of them, but he would come back to the Truth Zone channel and talk about his debates, but he's talking about it in a way like he could have won the shit. Like I never watched his debates. I already know he doesn't even know how to put information out. You know what I'm saying? He has no methodology. So I already know he's not. He can't win in a debate. You got to show methodology. How you get into X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know how to do that. And like I was talking to him like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and he keeps showing the same book about Panama, right?
yeah. He's never gonna leave Peter Martyr alone.
Like, and he doesn't even understand what they're saying. The author is literally saying, "All right, they found Negro slaves here. When they got there, there was Negro slaves there." And then he tells you who those Negroes are. He says they're Africans. This is what you can't change what the author says.
Have I told you about Diego Nasus before?
Oh, I can't. I don't remember offhand.
Okay,
No.
okay. Right before this happens, right before Balboa goes in that little region, let's just say in between 1501 and 1509. Diego Nasus and there's another Spanish dude. They go up there, they trying to set up colonies. But each one of them hits hardships, even a shipwreck. And according to the consistence with academia over in the Iberian, that's where those runaway or escaped slaves come from that Balboa sees, which makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you know the nuances of Peter Martyr, he never stepped foot over here. He's just going off the journals of a Balboa and Nasus. And if that's not important for them to tell, especially as you're trying to develop slavery, you don't want everybody thinking you could run away and set up shop and be straight. You're going to leave that out.
Mm-hmm.
You get where I'm going as you're retelling it to other people. But the documentation, nonetheless, was still there.
Yeah, the documentation, like even when they first started in what we know as DR in Haiti, that was their biggest complaint. They was about to they paused the slave trade, like, yo, don't even send no more over here. They keep running away. And then they're attacking us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that shit was definitely going on. Like,
Okay, since you went there and we got an audience, are you familiar with the skeleton they found down there in La Isabella, the first settlement Columbus set up?
a skeleton, nah.
Give me just a second. I'm gonna put you some in the back chat.
I put it on the screen. But yeah, these guys don't understand what they be doing. What they be talking. I be hearing so many crazy claims. Like it's even hard to remember some of the shit they be saying. And all of them took that the clipping. You can't clip none of that shit. So usually that shit used to save me. I can clip that shit. Oh, you put it back there? I'm about to pull it up now.
Now that one aligns more with your conversation as of tonight, more than that Timbuktu. That was just to show, it's not just Angola. You even got a Timbuktu in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. But you're gonna like this one if you haven't seen this article.
Nah, we could read it. I'll read it. It says 500-year-old remains may be First African woman to reach the Americas. A skeleton buried at the first European town in Americas belonged to a young woman from Western Africa. She may be the earliest known person from Africa to make the journey. Let me make sure this is on the screen. It's not even on the screen. Hold on. I knew I was doing something wrong. Why is it not showing? Oh, I know why. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. Alright. This was from October 2nd, 2020. So, a woman body is exhumed from this graveyard in what was once La Isabela, the Dominican Republic, seems of African origin. Somebody just jumped up here. All right, hold on, Orlando. We're gonna get to you. Let me read this. How long? This ain't long, is it? A 15th century skeleton buried at the first European settlement in the Americas probably belonged to an unknown African woman. And an analysis of her teeth suggests the woman died in her mid 20s within about 5 years of Christopher Columbus' first voyage to the Americas and decades before the start of the transatlantic slave trade. Why I can't get the rest? Oh, I gotta subscribe to get the rest. I can't read the rest. I think it's possible that she may have been the earliest known individual of African origin to participate in the European efforts to establish a settlement in the Americas, says David Wheat of Michigan State University, um, who wasn't involved in analysis. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to find something else where I can get to this. But yeah, right. You're not gonna find black people older than that. But Orlando, you there?
Long story short, not to see, and then I'm gonna drop
Yeah,
off and get back to work. They was
what's
able
good with it, bro?
to look at her remains, and due to the fact that there's a carbon isotope that maize attacks itself to when it comes to skeletal remains, it alters the size of the femur and teeth.
Yeah, they
That's how
can.
they declared that, okay, this is a native over here, and these are different, and this looks different than how European. You get where I'm going?
Nah, they could definitely look at the
Yeah.
teeth and tell just from like the
Yeah,
mineral
see,
places and tell your origin, like what
yeah,
continent
that's like,
you was from. Well,
yeah,
Orlando, what's going
what's
on?
good? What's popping, y'all? Pseudo killers in the bill. What's good, bro? But
Okay, okay.
but I was saying, yeah, like you was right about the teeth though, like East Asians, you know what I'm saying? People like they carry like ancient East Asian genetics, you know what I'm saying? They all have shovel shaped incisors, bro. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Including the Native Americans because they part of that lineage. You know what I'm saying? They part of like you know what I'm saying East Asian lineage. You know what I'm saying? People that you know what I'm saying outdated sign might call mongoloid. I don't use that term. I just use like East Asian. You know, the East Asian hunter gatherers,
Yeah,
whatever. You know what
me
I'm saying?
too.
They carry the
Cause they
particular
didn't
feature.
they didn't
Yeah.
just come from Mongolia. They came from several different places.
Yeah, several different places, but they come from like a lineage that they came in through like Tibet. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Central, you know what I'm saying? Central Asian hunter gatherers that became East Asian hunter gatherers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That
yeah,
you
and
know what I'm
they
saying?
have those shovel teeth that you'll find in damn near most of the ancient skeletons, right?
Yeah, and the hair follicles, they don't have you know what I'm saying as many sweat glands as other human populations. Certain other mutations too. You know what I'm saying? Certain diseases, they got what's called EDI, some type of gene. I forgot what it's called, but it has something to do with the shovel shaped incisors. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Other factors too, even like the production of breast milk. You know what I'm saying? That they have.
Yeah, and black people they don't have shovel teeth.
No, we don't. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
there goes that. Like they can't even attach themselves to the ancient remains. Like that was another
Yeah,
thing I asked them. Like how can they prove? Like where's the proof that black people was here prior to 1492? Right.
yeah,
So
and we all come from like you know what I'm saying the whole diaspora, like you know what I'm saying, like African Americans, You know, so with Cuban, you know, Afro-Cuban or you know, what I'm saying Afro-Colombian or Afro-Brazilian, we all come from Niger Congo civilization, yo. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
Western Sudanic culture, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so we come from these populations that come from, you know what I'm saying, these hunter gatherers that branched off from East African hunter gatherers, you know what I'm saying, migrated through the yellow, you know what I'm saying, the yellow Nile through Chad during the green Sarah period, you know what I'm saying, and mixed with, you know what I'm saying,
Yo, Orlando. So
middle,
like
yeah.
let's give the people like a timeline. So what time period is you talking about?
I'm talking about like our lineage, like Niger Congo culture go back, you know what I'm saying, at least 20,000 years ago, bro, East Africa, and then migrated, you know, through the Green Sahara and mixed with middle Stone Age cultures that was already over here too. You know what I'm saying? It became the West African population. So that's when
Hmm.
the E marker, you know what I'm saying, migrated from the east and it mutated, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
I'm
through
EP 252.
yeah. Even like the sickle cell trait, you know what I'm saying, that developed in the, you know what I'm saying, the Green Sahara human phase, you know what I'm saying, the South Central Sahara, where people, that's why you can still like, in particular, Saharan cave art, that's why you can still see like some representation with our people with the mask, the dance, and you know what I'm saying. It ain't all the cave art, but it's particular. If you look at they call the round head cave art, you know what I'm saying, that was made by like proto Niger Congo culture. You know
So
what I'm saying?
where? Okay, Niger Congo. Okay, I was gonna say what area, but that tells me
Or,
right there.
or, or you can say not, or you can say, or the Macaphonic, or some people say Niger Cadolphian, because you still got
I
a
never heard
particular,
that. You say Kadophian? I never
yeah,
heard that.
Niger Cadolphian. Look up Christopher Everett work, anthropologist, Dr. Shamarka Kieta. You know what I'm saying? Niger Cadolphian is the macro family, because you still got Niger Congo. You got two branches of it. You know what I'm saying? Niger Congo, which is most of the languages in the West. Then you still got Kadophian, you know what I'm saying, languages, you know what I'm saying, in Sudan, in the western parts of Sudan. You know what I'm saying? We can see like, a remnants of this, you know what I'm saying, cultural corridor, you know what I'm saying, from an east to western migration, you know what I'm saying, over time.
Oh,
You still
okay.
got the Kadophian people that like they still minority, but some of them still like live in the Nuba Hills along with like Nilo-Saharan groups.
Okay. So what time period would that start at?
But the Kadophian culture
Yeah.
or not the Kadophian culture? Well, not the
Uh,
Kadophian. I say not the Godolphin culture sprung up around like 16,000, 16,000 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then also, so you got that
but-
migration from east to west, but then
yeah,
you also get a migration later on with the Bantu migration.
yeah, the band. That's way later
That
on.
goes, yeah, wait, that's about 10 from where you saying about
Yeah,
10,000 years later. But you
yeah, because
also
you
see
got
that going back. You know what I'm saying?
because even before you get Bantu, you got Benny Congo. You know what I'm saying? You got Western Benny Congo. You got Western Benny Congo, Eastern Benny Congo. You know what I'm saying? Like the west of Benny Congo, you know what I'm saying? They I think got they also call like the vocal, you know what I'm saying, Atlantic, you know what I'm saying, languages. They call it that too. But that's like language that became like Yoruba, Igbo, and all that. But like Eastern Benny Congo was the language where Bantoid languages branched like Bantoid and then became, you know what I'm saying, single narrow Bantu. You know what I'm saying? As it migrated out to Nigeria and the Cameroon region.
Okay, okay. See, I'm
But
learning. I don't know
yeah,
too much about the. I know a little bit, so I understand some things you're talking about.
yeah. And even like Niger Congo culture, we all like share like particular agricultural, you know what I'm saying, cultural traits, you know what I'm saying, this whole lineage that we come from, you know what I'm saying, where they deal like rice, pottery. This where you find the world oldest pottery. You know what I'm saying? And there's like two, like, some of our oldest, you know what I'm saying, favorite food crops that we independently domesticated, like fonio, uh, you know what I'm saying, pearl millet, different type of rice. We boiled like what we did different in Africa is that we boiled our grains whole. You know what I'm saying? It's the same concept of rice. You know, so that's why you find so many different rice dishes all throughout the diaspora too. You know what I'm saying? Like non-Saharians, you know what I'm saying? Like non-Saharan groups, what they deal with their grains, they cultivate mostly Farrakhan, so they cultivate that they use their grains as mostly like they created a porridge. And then like if you look at like Afro-Asiatic groups, you know what I'm saying, they use their grains to make like flatbreads and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the Magic Congo, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Culture. You know what I'm saying? We the ones who bought like we bought beans and rice. You know what I'm saying? Even before collard greens, we would take the yams. Like we come from yam culture too. You know what I'm saying? We from the early cultivated the yam, or what they call planting agriculture, where you would take a root or take the stalk and replant it. You know what I'm saying? We used to take yams, some West African yams, and take the leaves of the yams and boil the leaves down and make like dishes that would be like similar to what how collard greens is today. Or even you look at like the Trinidad, they got the collard loop. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They all similar dishes.
Okay, that makes sense. So what do you say? Like, so have you ever heard like the Abo say that 600 of the 640 or 650, whatever they say, um, like fruits and vegetables came from the Americas, right? I try to explain to them that that's after
Yeah, the
colonization.
Columbian Exchange. That's the Columbian. That's after the Columbian Exchange. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
exactly what it is, right? So you know how they use these different vegetables and fruits in their cultural ways, right?
yeah.
So like, what would you say to them if they like came like, oh well, basically Africans wasn't eating before we gave them these foods. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's
how,
crazy. Bro.
it doesn't even make any sense. Like,
Yeah, it don't make no sense because it's certain crops that's indigenous to Africa, like you know what I'm saying, like chickpeas. You know what I'm saying, which is really like black eyed peas.
hmm
Um, you know what I'm saying, even that like black eyed peas, like chickpeas, they got carried through even through the Bantu migration. That got introduced to East Africa. You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
from West Africa, it did.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that particular type of agriculture. You know what I'm saying? Because even like the Bantu, they, you know what I'm saying, they migrate around the lakes, and then, you know what I'm saying, there's like a slow process or whatever. I got an Oxford book that break the whole migration down, like the expansion, like different groups that split it off, and you know what I'm
hmm
saying, down. And but yeah, though, but like particular crops, like you know what I'm saying, it's distinctly, you know what I'm saying, Western Central Africa, even our rice, like you got West African rice. Like you got two major places where rice was cultivated first. That's first and independently. That's West Africa, and that's Eastern Asia. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But we got our own indigenous type of, you know what I'm saying, rice and process that we use. Even watermelon. You know what I'm saying? That's West African, especially like yellow watermelon. That's a West African crop.
Yeah. But like, even like back to the rice, like there was no, they had wild rice in the Americas, but we not eating wild rice. We
No,
eating
we cultivated it.
We
exactly.
gotta be careful with that wild rice too, because it's very misleading to make people think it looks like the exact same
It don't even
rice.
look the same.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
It's
we
a
have
whole
Now,
new
different,
this
thing.
we have
conversation
different fruits.
indirectly came up a few days ago. Not to cut y'all off,
Nah, go ahead. Go
but
on.
one of the things I had to at least try to get them to grasp is even as cultures exchange goods, it doesn't mean that they share in the culture when it comes to cuisine. Because the way we prepare maize is totally different than what the natives may do with it. If you get what I'm
Mm.
trying
Yeah,
to say,
Yeah. Nah.
and
Absolutely.
you look for those as those cultural expressions as you're doing your research,
yeah,
because that could
yeah,
indicate difference. You get what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
We have,
take cattle for example. You get where I'm going? Like If these
yeah,
people only boil their food, these people only use it as a burden, what they call it, a beast of burden. And Negroes down in the South barbecuing every day. Those are distinct cultures that just share a similarity of that particular animal. You get what I'm trying to
yeah,
say?
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. 'Cause even like we use like you know what I'm saying, a lot of West African we'll keep cattle as like a meat source too. You know what I'm saying? Some groups, you know what I'm saying, was rocking with the milk and the yolks and all that, like the Fulani, you know what I'm saying? But they was, you know, so they mixed, you know what I'm saying, multi-cultures.
Yeah.
But most of like the Mindy, you know what I'm saying, they was keeping the cows for like economy, trade, and like as a meat source.
And natives didn't have cattle until that
They
Columbian
didn't. Yeah,
exchange.
they
They
didn't
didn't
have
have
any.
pigs.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
around
didn't
that
have
time.
any draft animals, nothing like that. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
So
around that.
so
The
now,
only
like he was saying,
the,
some used them to milk. You start
yeah,
looking at that. Like there is no remains in the Americas before Columbus
yeah,
that would
the only
indicate that they was making I don't want to say bottles, but pottery cups that would be used to feed an infant to milk them.
yeah,
They
only
didn't they,
only
they didn't have a use for it.
yeah, they had no use for it. Like only Native American group that had pack animals was in Peru and in Bolivia, which is the alpaca and the llama. Yo, that's it.
Yeah, nothing that these Black Americans is fucking with,
Yeah,
right?
no,
Like
it'd be
they
tricky,
fucking
yo.
with pigs and cows. They ain't got none chickens and shit like. Nah, that's not it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's disrespectful to like real Native American culture because you still got Native American culture. You still got like, you know what I'm saying? I live in Texas, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you really still got like, you know what I'm saying? You look at Salvadorians, Hondurans, well, some myself do especially mestizos, you know what I'm saying? They still like basically Spaniard and native. They still like they wear half the
mhm.
faces of native people. You know what I'm saying? I work with, you know what I'm saying, I work for a company that like all type of Latino people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Different African cultures and stuff. You know, even myself, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm African American and Afro Cuban. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
yeah, but like, so my family, like, you know what I'm saying, my Cuban family is black, black people. Like you wouldn't be able to tell them apart from African American, yo, because the same, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying, African lineage. But I still have cousins that that's mixed. It's like an African American, what I'm saying, family. Like what I'm saying, people that's mixed. You know what I'm saying, with, what I'm saying, you raised on European culture or whatever. But like what I'm saying, Cubans don't got as much Taino or nothing like that. So when you look at like, you know what I'm saying, motherfucking Mexicans, Dorians, you know what I'm saying, you can really, you still see it, bro.
you can
You
still
know what
see
I'm
that
saying?
native. Yeah,
Yeah, even particular Venezuelans, you know what I'm saying? Even though I know a lot of Venezuelans, you know what I'm saying, even like I had a homegirl, you know what I'm saying, she a black Venezuelan, like she got African ancestry, but you can still see the native, you know what I'm saying, in her too. Like she got that hair and everything, you know what I'm saying, everything. But even my queen, she from Colombia, you know what I'm saying, Afro Colombia. She from an area called Buenaventura. It's like the blackest city in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? They rock just like African Americans do. But like when you look at them, you can tell like it's, you know what I'm saying, it's deeper African roots. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It ain't,
yeah.
it ain't
Well,
just the mix. Yeah. Or you go to Bolivia, or you go to Bolivia, if you go to like Bogota, Colombia, or like Medellin, you'll see more of a mix. You know what I'm saying?
Is any of those places get hit by them earthquakes last week?
My girl hometown got hit, and it's crazy because like on the news reports, uh, you know what I'm saying, they have like the major city like Bogota, you know what I'm saying, Medellin, like you know what I'm saying, or even like main cities like or like Cali, you know what I'm saying. That's a big city, but Buenaventura was like they was treated how New Orleans was treated because it's an all black city.
they
You know what
just
I'm
they ain't even
saying?
give a fuck about them.
Yeah, bro. And it's like one route. You know what I'm saying? Because Buenaventura is a port city. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the major port cities in the Pacific coast of Colombia. But like it's only one road to get to like Cali or big cities, and that road was like blocked out, so people were straight stranded. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So during the like after effect of the earthquake or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
To that, I got to sneak a shot at the FBAs. So when the FBA say y'all don't share our experience based off what you just said, how do they not? How do they not historically, even modern day, have to share the exact same experiences when it comes to being the victims of racism? Like it doesn't
Exactly.
make sense, particularly towards being black. Like they don't know what they're talking about when they
You
say
know what
that.
they're talking about. And then too, it ain't even like that fluid. Like you know what I'm saying? Like African Americans and you know what I'm saying, Africans in other parts of the diaspora, even though you know what I'm saying, you have foundational culture that was made, you still had overlapping cultures that were going back and forth continuously, even through slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes shoes, a planner or something might get a workforce from Jamaica or somewhere, or connect from Jamaica or slave, but they integrate with the African Americans. Or just like you got a group of people in Dominican Republic they call the Samana Americanos. You know what I'm saying? They are literally African Americans who migrated to Dominican Republic and even created their own little society, and
Mm-hmm.
they capitalized African American culture. They still are evangelist Christians. They're not Catholic. You know what I'm saying? They withhold certain African American. Even they Spanish is different. It's like African American vernacular mixed with Spanish, like Dominican Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So
You can see that with the Red Bay and the Bahamas. The Gullah went down there during the
yeah,
Seminole War, Gullah War period, and set up
yeah,
shop.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So black is black, yo. Like I don't get it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, give me a second, y'all. I gotta talk to my girl real quick.
Yeah, bro, yeah, okay. Black is black. Like even like you know what I'm saying? Like in Cuba, like my Cuban side of my family, like you know what I'm saying? Like we Negro. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Still even racism on the ground. Like all Cubans ain't Ricky Ricardo, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's like Faison Love. Faison Love, you know what I'm saying? He grew up, African American because he a black Cuban. Like some you know what I'm saying, black immigrants that came to the United States, like even like my grandfather, like he was a black Cuban. You know what I'm saying? So he had no choice but to become African American when he migrated here. You know, so what else could he be? You know what I'm saying? He ain't look white. You know what I'm saying?
You can
Straight
see
up
it.
nigga.
I-
Yeah.
it's not it wasn't a lot of them, but I'm aware of that even out here in Oklahoma. My teenage years, and I call them family. They was Afro-Cuban, and yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you. If FBA's was to see my brother Romero, we not blood or nothing, but we just grew up. We super close. We faced the same racism and all that. We brothers. If they seen him, they wouldn't know he was Cuban. He looked like C
Yeah.
Murder.
Even even like Afro Cubans and African Americans together, you know what I'm saying, influence the way we listen to jazz today. You know what I'm saying? Because of Disney Gillespie and his, you know what I'm saying, his Afro-Cuban band members, you know what I'm saying, creating, you know what I'm saying, a mix African American rooted and Afro-Cuban, you know what I'm saying, music and percussion, you know what I'm saying, and even like the Negro League. The Negro League was nothing but African Americans and Afro Cubans and Afro Puerto Ricans, yo. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah, that's why they had Richard Pryor depicting that character in what was it, Bingo and the All Stars? Was that the name of the movie?
yeah,
Yeah.
shit, phase all love, Big Daddy, yeah, Afro Cuban. I
Yeah,
was
that's why
looking at it.
I don't understand that whole tether shit, right? Because
It don't make sense. That shit crazy, yeah.
Like even if you like again back to like DNA tests, you can find cousins in different countries in like South America or the islands. Like it's just a different stock. Like your ancestors was literally they was brought here, and some even moved from the islands to America, not by we're talking about during slavery. But it's like this shit just doesn't make any sense. Like
Yeah, that make no
It's
sense,
what
yo.
frustrates me now to see.
I
And
just don't get
I'm
it.
not blaming Trump. I'm just putting stuff in the chronology. Before
Yeah,
Trump, us African Americans, quote unquote, had no problem with celebrating the triumphs of any black person across the globe if we could
Hmm.
tie that story to our history.
yeah,
After Hidden Colors decided to switch and become FBA, now you see this tether shit, and it doesn't make sense. You can't have it both ways.
Like all right,
You
you
can't
got
claim they victories, but then say they the issue. You
you
can't do
got
yeah.
that.
black foreigners that don't like black Americans, but you got
Yeah.
black Americans that don't like black Americans.
Look. Why?
Who cares?
If we wasn't all black, why would the white people try to hide the Haitian Revolution from African Americans?
Yeah. And during that time, right, you had black Americans working with them, literally
Yeah,
working with them. So,
yeah.
like,
Even Haiti, like when I was speaking about Colombia, Haiti influenced Colombia to liberate against Spain. You know what I'm saying? Because what's that? Simon Bolivar. You know what I'm saying? He the founder of Colombia. When it was like Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, and Ecuador, that was all one country. It was called Grand Colombia. But he was inspired by the Haitians. But the Haitian ruler at the time, he was like, yeah, so I help you send you troops, but you have to liberate your slaves. You know what I'm saying? Especially the ones that help you in battle. You know what I'm saying? So that was the deal.
hmm
But yeah, but even in, you know what I'm saying, in African American history, you know what I'm saying, it's, slavery history, like sometimes shoot, they'll send us to Caribbean islands as a you know what I'm saying as a punishment. You know what I'm saying because it's
yep,
worse conditions.
yep. So, meanwhile, you could be up here, you're a grown man. You probably got like two, three kids already. Sent down there for a couple years. You make a couple kids down there. Right now, where does that leave that FBA person at? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It makes no sense because that was going on a lot.
Yeah. So what about
Like
what about
literally,
what about the Liberians? Like the Liberians ain't like African American roots. You know, a lot of
yeah.
what
I
they're
ask
putting
that
up
all the
there.
time. The same question. And to your sentiments towards Haiti influencing others to do their independence. Yeah, that army of Andes was majority black people. I think, where was that at? Was that Peru? I think it was down in Chile and Peru.
Oh yeah,
But you'll hear Abos claim some of them claim the Haitian Revolution as if those are Aboriginals, right? But you had Henry Christoph talk about it and talk about how they're people of African descent, right? And so what do you do with that when one of the leaders is telling y'all that they African? But a lot of the Abos have taken on the FBA narrative, so they stay away from all the islands. But 2 years ago, the Haitians was Aboriginal. Now they're just some other people.
yeah.
Shit don't make no damn sense.
Yeah, but even they try to use that weak ass argument. Oh yeah, they call us terra, negro de terra. I said no,
Mm.
bro. I said yeah, they call Native Americans that, but they call the Africans negro de Africanos.
And that was only in Brazil, right? They don't have that. taking place nowhere else.
Yeah, yeah, it really got there nowhere else for real. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they not from Brazil. So now, if you from Brazil, then you a tether, right? So which one is it? You can't
Yeah.
claim, right? Y'all niggas is from English colonies. They wasn't calling y'all no Negro de Terror in English colonies.
Exactly. Exactly. And look, in the first, and even before like the slavery started popping in the United States was like chattel slavery. Because you had like the first look, first of all, you had the first 20, which those first 20 that got dropped off in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
They was Afro Latino people because they came in from a Dutch ship, but the Dutch had confiscated a Portuguese ship. That's why a lot of
Yeah,
the that's why,
the San
that's why a
Juan.
lot of, yeah, that's why a lot of them, what I'm saying, was spoke Portuguese or had Portuguese or Angolian names or whatever. You know
And
what I'm
that
saying?
shit came from Angola, who was
Angola,
under who was
and then once the chat, then long after once the chattel started kicking off, you know what I'm saying? The whole what I'm saying, blueprint of the plantation came in straight from the Caribbeans, like the Bermuda, I mean, not Bermuda, but Barbados. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So like even Barbados was popping, like it was more of a popping English colony more so than the United States at first. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you had like and a lot of them slaves transitioned, you know what I'm saying, transitioned to the Americas or United States. And
Yeah,
then too,
because
and then
my
too,
bad.
like and then too, the foundation of African Americans ain't just the ones that was in Virginia. Yeah, we were too, but our origins rooted in different parts of the diaspora because you had
Mm-hmm.
like you had black people in Florida that was brought in by the Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And then you had like people in the French colonies, you know what I'm saying, Louisiana and all up the Mississippi River.
You got
You know what I'm saying?
Massachusetts,
Yeah,
right? They got some of the first slave laws in Massachusetts, like the early 1640s, 1650s.
yeah.
But
Like what
what I
about
was going to say when you were saying when we was talking about the islands and them transitioning, right? They
yeah,
developed a practice called seasoning, where
yeah,
they would bring the Africans to right the Caribbean islands first, get them there for like 3 years to get acclimated to
yeah,
what's going on, and then bring them to the Americas. You don't think anybody in that point in time made a baby there,
exactly. And like and
right?
like how do they look at the Louisiana people or the Louisiana people or people from Louisiana tethers? Should
Yeah,
they
because they come from what South America or some or one of them
no,
islands.
no,
They don't come from like directly from that. They hit the islands first or some shit.
yeah, the islands is like from Haiti and stuff like that. Some of them did come straight there because they had documents of like slaves coming straight to Louisiana. Port, Louisiana's a port city too. But you
Yeah.
did have some come from the Caribbean, some other French kind of like Saint Martin and areas like that. But you also had some coming straight from Africa because they had like they got some of the
No, yeah, of
documents.
course.
Yeah, they got some of the documents where they tell like the particular area of Africa they come from. But like too, like that was French colony. That wasn't part of the 13 colonies. Like
Hmm.
them Africans over there technically didn't become African American to Africa to Louisiana purchase. And when they start bringing, you know what I'm saying, Africans over from the upper south and from like, you know what I'm saying, the East Coast, like the Carolinas and Georgia area, they start bringing them over. Planners start bringing them over.
They was
From,
bringing them from New York too,
yeah,
from
yeah.
New York to Louisiana. They had a decent intercontinental trade from New York to Louisiana.
Boston was their biggest port for that
Hmm.
after 1808. A lot of that shit is inspired by Jefferson, but now you start breaking into what was it, Franklin and Arm, the slave traders for the domestic. Yeah,
Yeah, but they try to claim the domestic as Aboriginals being sold. That's the shit. When there's no proof of that, these are Negroes, right? They're not labeled as Indians, Aboriginals, or whatever. These are Negroes, and you can't change what the word Negro means. Like, but You know, when we fighting people that don't go with evidence and they just go with belief, this is the type of shit. Like we can go on and on and on about this shit, right? Like, so
Yeah. You can even beat them up. You can even beat them up with the birth of with birth of fraternal twins. If you know, like due to the foods we eat, it's called pheo estrogen, like food starchy foods like yams. You know what I'm saying? French fries, stuff like potatoes and stuff. Even like okra. You know what I'm saying? It can have a lot of it's called pheo something like that. But like that chemical reaction allowed like two eggs to drop. You know what I'm saying? That's why like you find most of the world's fraternal twins in Western Central African cultures and in African American cultures or like diaspora cultures. And
I'm a
they say,
fraternal.
yeah,
I got a twin sister. That's crazy. I didn't know. I got a
even my
twin.
daughter. Yeah, my daughter's fraternal. Like my daughter's fraternal. But like you got a town in Nigeria where you got like everybody's a twin, fraternal twin. And like
That's
as a whole, you know what I'm saying, West and Central Africa got the most percentages of it. Even like if you look right now at Wikipedia and look up fraternal twins with twins, it's the first two things or the possibilities of that it's a ancestors from West and Central Africa or some African American or some
I, yo,
like
bro. I
African.
did not know that. I ain't know there was a connection with that. I just thought that was like a human thing. I ain't think that was. You know what I'm saying? And my highest percentage is Nigerian.
Yeah. It's a human thing overall, but like the percentages get high, you know what I'm saying, with
No, but I
African
never
American.
thought. I never
Yeah.
thought that it could be pimp. Like like think about where does it happen more frequently at? You get what I'm saying? Like I never thought
Yeah.
about it that way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Now to see my grandfather, my dad's dad is a twin.
Mm,
My dad is a twin. His
mm.
brother gets damn. I was about to say amputated. That's not what I'm looking for. When the man get clipped. Damn, what's the term I'm looking for?
Oh, vasectomy.
He got a vasectomy, and like a year later, he popped out twin boy.
Damn, yeah. Because if you got to make sure within that first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, after you still got a window. Yeah, so he thought he
Yeah.
was good and popped out twins. That's crazy.
And then too, when you look at like West African mythical cultures, you see a lot of twin symbolism. Even in
Hmm.
the Yoruba praise twins. You know what I'm saying? They call it an Abiji. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Abeji.
I know that about some of
Yeah.
that, but
And
I never
then
just
and
like
then
really thought about it like that. The way you
and
was
then the
just,
Igbo, like
I never.
they don't do it. They don't do it now, but the Igbos got like a tribal tradition where like a twin would be a bad omen, so they'll sacrifice one and they
Yeah, I
keep
know they
one.
had that. Yeah, they definitely had that. I know that. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I'm a twin. I gotta go to my
Yeah,
sister's house. I'm supposed to go tomorrow, but I don't know if
yeah.
I'm gonna make it.
Oh, so
Remember the
now it
Nazi,
makes sense why I keep thinking you
Yeah.
mad powerful. That's your damn twin
yeah.
brother.
And
Nah.
I don't know if y'all know about like this Nazi. It was like some type of Nazi. Like they was trying to, see test some type of twin village that was in Brazil. Because Brazil got a lot of African ancestry. You know what I'm saying? They got the most shit. But like it
Hmm.
was like I forgot how the test went, but like they had like a whole camp full of twins from Brazil.
Yeah, twins is crazy.
Yeah, they even trying to go back to like centers, like you know what I'm saying? I forgot the director name Ryan. What's the dude name? Forgot his last name.
I know what you're
But he was
talking
like,
about.
yeah, but he's breaking it down, like you know what I'm saying, like twins. You know what I'm saying? It's like a fundamental, like everybody has some twins. You know what I'm saying? African American culture in the neighborhood back in the day, like oh yeah, them twins. You know what I'm saying? Even
Hmm.
now, like, in our slang, you know what I'm saying? Even Atlanta people they say twins.
Yeah,
You
the
know what
twin. Yeah. And then to look at it that way, that is that retention of what I'm saying culture, that African culture. Yeah, you pointed out. I appreciate you popping up here. You pointed out a couple things to me, man. It made me look at things a little different.
Y'all ever seen that documentary High on the Hog? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I seen it on Netflix. I seen that
yeah,
shit.
yeah. That shit. That's a deep. The food. That's a deep connection too, yo.
Yeah, you can't get around that shit, man. Like the way that was a good. That was definitely a good. I don't even know what to call it. Documentary slash
Yeah,
whatever. That was
yeah,
definitely a good one. Right, like people think that black people invented macaroni and cheese, but nah. The way we eat it now, yeah, but it came from France. I forget the guy's name, but he got his slave to a black man to cook it. He whipped it his own little way, and here we go. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Even the even the way the world use modern vaccinations come from Western African culture, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Inoculation and all that.
Yep. Came from inoculation or Onesimus. But they even had like the like little deity, the smallpox deity over there. You know what I'm saying? Because they was dealing with that shit.
Y'all know
Yeah,
what's
So,
crazy about that is we'll tell the story as Onesimus was a one off, but that was going on in Latin American slavery at the time too. We
hmm
just don't hear about it because it's working. It's working so well that it's showing signs of failure because nobody's getting affected. You get what I'm trying to say? They couldn't catch on to that at the time. So
yeah,
here it is. I'm trying to get you infected to keep you protected, but it's not
they
infecting
still
you.
dealing with
Yeah,
witchcraft also in their
yeah,
mentality.
yeah.
And
yeah,
we don't get the other Africans who was putting them on other places, right? We only get that because we dealing with the English. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna tell their story of how they was, you know what I'm saying, make themselves the savers. How Cotton Mather's, he was the one to take the risk. You know what I'm saying? When like we've been doing this shit, like
yeah. That's why a lot of you see the scarifications and even like the
hmm
symbolism of scarification that represent like a process of probably what I'm saying, a medical process. Or they made it spiritual, though, but what I'm saying, that's part of their medicine too.
yeah. There's a conversation I always wanted to have about the scarification because you'll see in ads where they're talking about these slaves. They'll be like, man, new Negro Mandingo man with his country marks. You know what I'm saying? That's that scarification, that identification where they could tell who's who and where they come from and shit like that. Like, but it was many different ways that they did the shit. Like they did it through you would get a scar from inoculation. You know what I'm saying? Word. So yeah.
I heard y'all mention High on the Hog. I haven't watched it, but just nuances of things, right? That I've got reading books. Some of them I no longer own. But Buccaneers has a direct connection to Cimarroons or Maroons. And what's going on is Negroes are stealing pigs, going up to the shoreline and selling off the food to oncoming sailors.
Uh huh.
The French see this and they make fun of them, call them Buccaneers, and that's the origin of the word. And then eventually, Buccaneers, through linguistic shift and drift, becomes barbecue.
Nah, but Vasa, if
That-
you get a chance, you should watch that shit. How it's they put it together good. I think you would like it.
There's an old book, maybe from the late '90s, well, late '80s, early '90s. I said that wrong. Seeds of Change. Um, it goes over. I can't say the information in Hound and Hawk, but it goes over this topic very thoroughly. Even how it affected African descent's health. It ties in the Columbian Exchange and things of that nature. It's a good one to have. I'm
Yeah, I'll
not
be back.
home. I
I'll
will.
be
I
right
will
back,
give you the
y'all.
author, but I'm not home. I can't remember the author's name.
It's a good book called I got by a professor named Michael A. Gomez, and it's called Reverse Sales: History of the African Diaspora. This book deep, bro. It goes. Like it break down the whole diaspora, like what I'm saying, and the connections. Zora was it Zora Neale Hurston? Like her work go, what I'm saying? Anthropologist before her time, yo. You know what I'm saying? She did a lot of studies on African American, African diaspora religions, you know what I'm saying, the connections to Africa. And you know what I'm saying, and then she wrote that book, The Barracoon, you know what I'm saying, the last documented slave ship.
Yo, y'all still there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I'm here, bro.
Oh, all right. Nah, I'm back. Damn, I forgot where we left off at. We was talking about so much.
No, I was saying something about you said something about some books. I was saying some good literature to check out is like Zora Neale Hurston work. So she's the African American anthropologist that study religions and cultures and roots of African American, African diaspora culture. You
Yeah,
know,
nah,
so
I definitely tapped in. So let me
yeah,
ask you a question. So because these conversations, we gotta kind of bring it back to the apples, right? When you bring up her name, they'll just simply call her. Oh, she plagiarized somebody else's work, not knowing the full context of that what they call plagiarism, right? It's not like she took somebody or she made something up.
yeah. That's the correct way to do. They wild.
She all she did was she used something of, I forget the lady's name, of an interview, and she really just didn't give her credit, right? But that doesn't discredit anything else. Like and I have showed it before. I have showed it before where she, the proof that she went down there and talked with Cujo. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because they bring up things like, oh, when the lady was there, she talked about like certain landmarks like in the area, and the things that uh Hurston brought up was accurate, like because some things changed between times. So you know what I'm saying, just through her work you could tell she actually went down there, because say there was, I forget what they said, but say there wasn't a stop sign when the other person was there, but there's a stop sign there now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or there was a post office, or there wasn't a post office, now there's a post office. So there's no like discredit to her actual work, you know what I'm saying? But these abos try to discredit her just because she was labeled as plagiarizing somebody. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Another fun fact about what they call Africa Town now, which is the village. You know what I'm saying? That the people from what is it, the boat called the Tilda, the boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The people settled there. Honeycomb Brazy. He from that area, bro.
Yeah, he had brought the shit up in one of his interviews. I didn't actually see it, but I heard people talking about the shit. He was saying like he's descended of, you know what I'm saying, of African tale.
Yeah, I know Quest. I
So
know Quest Love is a descendant of
yeah,
there too.
love, yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep. He talked about it. I seen that shit with he did with Henry Louis Gates.
yeah.
Or so. we have that continuous history. You know what I'm saying? They even be having like I show like the get together they be having at Africa Town. The news is there. I played that clip because they're just constantly trying to say like that shit isn't true. Like you can't deny these people history. Word.
Yep.
These people
Mhm.
like, is very well documented. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. That's crazy. They be claiming to be Cherokees and Choctaw. Them like the main ones that them was the main native women that they own slaves. It was racist and shit. Like it was still like shoot them niggas was the slave. They was the slave catchers. Like the
Hmm.
Cherokees, the Choctaws and shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why they are the five. So see, they don't even understand why these people are the five civilized tribes.
Would y'all
Mm.
believe me
Hennessy
if I told
Hennessy
y'all,
tried
since
to
y'all
be
was right
funny.
there at Africa Town, would y'all
Wait,
believe me if we set up African City? That's the name of it, right here in the heart of Indian Territory.
wait. What you mean? Believe you?
Oh, I get you. You get what I mean. I'm just saying it
Mm.
for the delivery.
That's like
Uh,
that's no different than the Seminoles or the Getty fauna. You know what I'm
Uh-uh.
saying?
It
The
wasn't
Getty
them,
fauna,
but
the Getty fauna, they actually speak. True, they actually speak a dialect of Arawak that's
yeah.
mixed with African. You know, so because like what they call the black Caribs, like the original Caribs had a refugee for like maroons and like runaways. And then like they became, part of their local language and they mixed the African language with the Arawak. You know what I'm saying? In St. Vincent. And, they had so much a problem with the African, the black Caribs, that they transplanted them to like Honduras, Belize, and Nicaragua and Guatemala. They came together for that.
yeah, they had a huge problem. I just lump them all in and call them Cimarrones. But they was such a problem that when they first got to Panama, Spain was already going to do the Panama Canal, but they didn't do it because there was too many Cimarrones tearing shit up down there. That's documented through King Charles. I think it was King Charles.
Yeah. Even my girl, she Afro Colombian, but she descend from some sea maroons too. You know what I'm saying? Some of her, ancestors come through like some of the the slavery too, but also some of the the blacks that they escaped and create their own little society. You even got one prominent one in Cartagena, cause they call it Palenque. You know what I'm saying? Even Cuba, you know what I'm saying? Cuban maroons, they call it Palenque, Palenque village.
Yeah. You got, what is it? San Palenque. I can't speak Spanish. Damn, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll look it up and drop it. I can't
That's
say it.
good.
But
Okay.
that San Palenque, they still there today, and they
Yeah, they are.
started on
Yeah.
sharing their knowledge through hip hop. It's a dope little story.
Yeah, they are. It's like because even though most of the black population now is like it's on the Pacific coast, but the main port, you know what I'm saying, in Colombia was Cartagena. You know what I'm saying? That's where the Palenque is at. Just you got a big black population there too. You know what I'm saying? Which is on the more the Caribbean coast. But most of the blacks in the Pacific coast got transplanted from Cartagena to the Pacific coast, and they numbers grew. You know what I'm saying? Especially like Choco, Buenaventura, Tumaco. You know what I'm saying? That's like they like the Mississippi. They like the Mississippi of Columbia. You know, and like the Cartagena is like what I'm saying, the Carolinas and Savannah.
Yeah, man. I know these apples in the bushes. They just scared to pull up, like they always is. If they not on their own panels, they not coming. But I'm gonna get it back, man. I just gotta start going live more.
Yeah, they be having on TikTok. They be on TikTok crazy, bro.
Yeah, I be seeing them. I don't do TikTok like that, but
Yeah, I don't like TikTok either. They be power tripping on there, bro. They be tripping, bro. Like. You can't even
Yeah,
get away. They just kick you off and ban you.
and
And
you
because
can't show information as easily as you can, like on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like using StreamYard and shit.
yeah.
Like demonstration beats conversation every time. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I be wanting to show something. It's showing and tell. Let's show me what
exactly,
you're talking about.
exactly. Like when us, we having a casual conversation, right? But when we actually going back and forth on information, that it's not casual. We need to show and prove what the fuck we talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Word. And I'm always ready for that. But I just want to know, like, we can go back to whatever we was talking about, but back to my question, like, we could show Black Americans all throughout history, even like Black Caribbeans, like I brought up Henry Christoph, right, from Haiti. He even talks about them being from Africa, right? And the same goes for every black person who touched on the topic of the origins of the black people in America. They all say the same shit. Why we don't have Apple saying, "Nah, we not from Africa. We always been here."
Crazy, bro.
Right?
Even with the Gullah, like the Gullah people, you know what I'm saying? They use the term like, you know what I'm saying? Like when they say Binyas, the Binyas were the Native Americans, but the Cumulus were the Africans and the Europeans. They call themselves Cumulus, yo. They didn't call themselves Binyas.
Hmm. Yeah, I heard that before. So yeah, like they all talk about it. So I just don't. Man.
Yeah.
It makes no damn sense to me. I don't even know why we even still talk to these dudes, but we have to because if not, they just run them up and just
Yeah.
keep saying anything they fucking want. You know what
Did
I'm
I give you
saying?
that newspaper clip from Joseph Apollo when he went and broke all the way into that language Ukraine and went over to Africa studying the Gullah and tied it all back together, following after Lorenzo Turner? What he
Nah.
said,
Uh.
he's there's a newspaper clipping of him talking, and he says, "If I only knew I never had to leave my home state of Oklahoma and could have studied the Gullah right here."
Nah. Where the article at? I know you got it. You just put it in the back.
Now I'm gonna have to see if I can find it out of my clips. But yeah, he said that.
Yeah, too, man. It's like I wanna like for some of them like them extra FBA dudes, like what would they call like Stokely Carmichael or Tether? Like what would they put Stokely Carmichael at? Because
They definitely call him a teller, especially because he was
it's parents Trinidadian.
yeah.
And then you got
And
and you
but
got
also because they don't be like most of them don't like that black term. So that black power
yeah,
thing, they
yeah.
really those are the ones that really come after him like that.
Before I
And then
get
you
busy again, check your back chat.
got okay.
But
And then too, you got like you got like what's the name? James Weldon Johnson, the guy who wrote the Black National Anthem. You know what I'm saying? His parents was Bahamian. You know what I'm saying? Because he's from Florida. A lot of black Floridians originally are Bahamian. You know what I'm saying? But sure, a lot of Gullah people became Bahamian. They migrated there. You know what I'm saying?
wait, hold on, my bad. Yo, why I say when I click on it saying it's this page is lost or can't be found. I don't know. Maybe something got cut off. Yeah, it's not. Let me pull it up. But yeah, like even like Malcolm X. A lot of them like to use Malcolm X because he said we was aboriginal to the world. He ain't say we was aboriginal to America, but they like to use the Malcolm X when he said that. But I'll be bringing up if you ever look at the speech Ballad of the Bullet, he talks about he says there's 22 million of us African Americans in the United States. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was a Pan African, so I don't even know why we even going into all that. But he had ancestry to I forget which one was it. I forget, but it was one of the islands. So he wasn't full Black American. There ain't no such thing as full Black American. But oh, I see. Let me see. Oh
I
yeah, I
don't know
got
if
it.
you. Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, then too, like the Native Americans over here, like this, like North America though, like this motherfucker, one point time, a cup of that ice.
That
Yo,
hair.
Like,
Bison,
It
you want
is.
me to bring that up? You want me
If
to
you
pull that
want
up
to,
now?
if you want to, it's just something to have. Maybe Vino watch.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it up there. I ain't gonna read it yet. But yo, what was Orlando? What was you just saying?
you know what I'm saying? Like they always claim the North American coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like North American Native because they were the most lighter skinned coaches. Like unless you were like in equatorial region like Texas or Florida somewhere, they were like dark like
Yeah.
the everybody darker like the South American coaches. But like still like they be it's
Everybody else
crazy.
was white. That's when like I showed them like I got this picture of this Panamanian woman, right? She's from the Guna tribe, indigenous people of Panama, and she's brown skinned first of all, right? So I like to show her from like the chin down before I show them. Like I'm like, oh, is she? You see her color? Is she black? But then when you see her face, she doesn't look like a black woman at all. She look like she looks like a Native American, but also they look Asian also, right?
Yeah,
So
just like you got dark East Asian groups that's in equatorial regions. You know what I'm saying? They get light. In the north, like Chinese, like they darker. You know what I'm saying? When they get more to Southeast Asia.
so when like they all gotta understand from the bottom of South America to the top of Canada, you got these people are gonna range in skin color. That they were sitting here by themselves for from 20 to 30,000 years, right? From the introduction to right by themselves. They're in different regions, right? That's enough time for them to become lighter, darker, regardless of how all of them came in. They're gonna vary in skin color by the time we get to 1492. It's just simple. They just think that it happens over time. They had enough time to go through these phases. You know what I'm saying? Then Orlando, he fell off. But is still at work. They got me Dolo up here. They got me Dolo. Let me see. Let me see what's going on. Damn, I just gave it to you. Might be time for intermission. Definitely time for a little intermission. Let me see.
Y'all covered. Y'all was on at Skin Tone. You ever covered this one? The white Amazonians and how Vino and all the Abos never mentioned them.
Yo, that's crazy. I think we have had this conversation before, maybe a couple years ago. Um, I don't think Vino was around at that time, But we pointed out how I know I have pointed out, like, even from we're gonna get back to the white Amazonians, but like Verrazano and Hudson, Henry Hudson, right? These people, they seen different people, so they talk about how some of them had these like white facial features. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. But what was you saying about the white Amazonian? Voss, you there?
My bad. What's up?
Now I was saying the white Amazonian.
I heard Hudson. Oh, they was documented. I forgot the man's name in the 1500s as looking white, but you get what I mean. This is to shoot back at Vino when he keep bringing out Peter Martell. Like, why don't you bring out the documentation where they saying these people are light skinned in these areas?
Yo, because even in that same book that he be showing us all the time, there's a part where it says that them niggas is very like white like us, not like looking like they were, because it wasn't no like distinct look for white people, but they're talking about the skin color like it's like us, and that's why I brought up Henry Hudson because he also says that he ran in the Indians that was real pale, and so did Verrazano, right? He said they there's a degree they'll be pale as white people and to being brown skin, like, and it's not hard to understand that when you understand that Americas go through a bunch of different zones, right, where they get different UV rays, but that's a whole different thing. Why you do that? Why you drop your phone? But yeah, you should have got me some ice cream, man. But yeah, uh, yeah, I've been 18 weeks. Yeah. We're gonna take a little intermission vibe. Matter of fact, I don't know. Damn, where these niggas at though? That's what I want to know. Let me see that. These niggas just ain't around tonight because they ain't even on smoke panel. Smoke panel dead in the motherfucker. Got a bunch of retards on there. It's quiet tonight. I just gotta keep coming back. We gonna get it back. We definitely gonna get it back. We find something real quick. Yeah, I need a break.
She says she don't like outside, she like out the country. We trying to see the world this year. Who coming? Okay, let's do it. Yeah. I keep it smooth and silky. Wanna accuse me of making moves, I'm guilty. Sipping rich and DR, moving filthy. And some all white bricks, I've been moving milky, yeah. Well, out here they says leche. Mommy got the cake, so I call her tres leche. I think she know my name, but she always says Hefe. I told her spell boss, and shorty say F-A-B-O. Ayos mio, you so frio. And I got a lot of chips, nigga, mucho Fritos. Got a lot of Casamigo and mucho Tito's. Chef made roast con pollo, mucho Fritos. You know me though, I'm a humble flexer. Enough is enough, I don't come too extra. Won't talk like king, then come through jester. No funny shaped bodies, don't come through Tesla, love. And I like the cyber truck. Baby, I'm just saying I ain't trying to cyber fuck. I'm used to having motion, I'm not the type who stuck. These blessings from above, this is not some type of luck. This is God given, mixed with hard living. I just made the best hand with the cards given. Through the ups and downs, kept my poker face. Now I'm in a full house getting poker face. Pocket nines on my hip, that's a poker waist. You rather be a closed casket or an open case, huh? I'd rather be in Punta Cana, in a room with Lana and Juliana. Had to pull the trigger, ooh the nana. They still gotta check out by noon manana. It's a ride to the beach, you gotta go kart it. Stay lit and in your bag, gotta go yard it. I'm the best opener, I get the show started. I'm at Festopia, I had the chrome hearted. Your boy went green and gold like the Bishop Don Juan. So if we ain't got no hoes, then the mission's gone wrong. Marvel speaks Spanish, he could push up on Johns. That boy came clutch like Rich and Braun. Yeah, we still ballin' like Brono. I hear the money talks way more than a convo. All white stallion, I'm calling him Bronco. We ran out of repo, so now we on Blanco. I used to do the heist, go to Broadway for Blanco. Now it's DR flags on the Blanco on Blancos. If you can see the world, nigga, go see it. If you ain't where you wanna be, nigga, go be it. Put that over everything, gotta OE it. She just wanna tag along, cause she know we it. It's up.
I'm trying to make a name, but my sick thoughts got me by my brain. I'm searching for my, how ironic how we hustle for the same, but get bracelets for trying to get a chain and they want to take up.
So this video is about the 1619 story and a conversation I had with legendary Top Cats about those first Africans who came to America.
Ain't nothing African about Virginia. You talking about a European and an Aboriginal situation. You talking about Virginia.
So they didn't bring any Africans into Virginia?
Well, I mean, what Africans made a difference? You had those 19 that came in 1619, and if I was y'all, I'd be embarrassed to pull that because that wasn't even the situation of somebody being brought from West Africa in the slave situation. That was a situation that happened with. So that where did they get those people from?
So they came from Luanda, Angola. They was on the San Juan Batista.
Listen,
that
did
shit
they steal that boat? How did they meet them people? They came from
they was going to Veracruz, Mexico. They was going to Veracruz, Mexico.
They jacked the boat and took them people. So let's not try to use this modern day everybody where they try to test.
No. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
That's what you're doing.
No, I'm not. So
what happened to those people though?
Hold on.
They freed them.
Hold on.
They got their freedom, and some of them became slave owners. So
yeah.
I'd be ashamed to even pull that shit.
Hold on.
You want to make it especially if you got a slave narrative.
You don't want the whole story to come out. That's what it is. I'm just trying to ask you a question. Was it 3 ships or 2 ships involved in that encounter?
I can't remember right now.
It's 3.
They don't change
2 ships. No. It's always been 2 ships jumped on 1 ship in the Caribbean. But y'all fail to realize that 1 ship that they jumped was called the San Juan Batista. That ship is on record coming from Luanda, Angola, and it was destined to go to Veracruz, Mexico. Here we have the 1619 story in question. Now, in the conversation I had with Top Cats, I told him that they came from Luanda, Angola, and they was on a ship called the San Juan Batista. So let's read a little bit. The Africans who came to Virginia in 1619 had been taken from Angola and West Central Africa. They were captured in a series of wars that was part of a much broader Portuguese hostilities against the Congo and Ndogo kingdoms in other states. These captives were then forced to march 100 to 200 miles to the coast to the major slave trade port of Luanda. They were put on board the San Juan Bautista, which carried 350 captives bound for Veracruz on the coast of Mexico in the summer of 1619. Nearing her destination, the slave ship was attacked by two English privateers, the White Lion and the Treasurer, in the Gulf of Mexico and robbed of 50 to 60 Africans. The two privateers then sailed to Virginia, where the White Lion arrived at Point Comfort, or present-day Hampton, Virginia, towards the end of August. Here we are on the Slave Voyages website, and they also mention the 1619 ship, the San Juan Bautista, and the voyage ID number is 29251. If anybody wants to look it up. Right, and this is just the information they have on it. It was in Luanda, headed to Veracruz, year 1619. Captain's name, Miguel Pinto Moto. And here are the sources, and they mention the 1619 20-hour Negroes.
Y'all not telling the whole story. You didn't do nothing last time.
You're not telling the whole story by picking the pieces of the story that you want to tell.
Hold on, no. He just listen. He just tried to tell a story of 1619 and don't know if it's 2 or 3 boats. Y'all not telling the same story. Y'all not telling the whole, because that third boat came from Angola. That's why.
So why nobody know about that then? But you,
everybody knows about
go
it.
Get it then.
And there lies the problem within a lot of these conscious communities. Specifically this one we're talking about now, the Aboriginal community. Their so-called leaders just don't know the history. They tell half of the story from a biased point of view, as we've seen with Top Cats. So moral to this video, 1619, those Africans that was taken by the White Lion and Treasurer was on a boat named the San Juan Bautista that came from Luanda, Angola. That's just the facts. That's it. It's not a coincidence that the conscious community is not so conscious.
Yo, Vice, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm about to call tonight. I didn't even realize what time it was, man. I got to get up and go to work in the morning.
Understandable. Rest well. Peace to the family. Good to see you again. Peace to your audience.
I'll be back real soon, though, man. We got to get this shit back popping. Well, we're going to get it back, though. But to everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all pulling up. Make sure y'all share, like the video. And I'm going to see y'all. Most likely I'll see y'all tomorrow, man.
See, we're talking about Black and African Americans. We're not talking about this beef shit that we're on. We're not on this drama shit right now. We're on Aboriginal TV's channel talking about Pan-Africans throwing shots at the Aboriginals. A Pan-African came on here, our brother, that makes our shows live for real. I gotta say, all of us need to like sneak together and throw this nigga like $10 because he's one of the only Pan-African boo-boos that come up here and put up a fight. People that just come up here need to see that. They need to see an African, and they need to see an Indian, and they need to see the debate so they could choose a side. Not a coincidence is a major factor in this community, and people don't even know it. Goofy motherfuckers.